Chapter 852. After reaching the late stage of Yuanying realm, Qin Haodong was invincible among his peers. The Xianyuan sword in his hand slashed forward, and the seemingly powerful steel fork in the Golden Leaf General's hand was cut in two like tofu. The Golden Leaf General was shocked, but before he could react, the Xianyuan sword had already cut off one of his arms. At the same time, Korkina, who had reached the divine realm, grabbed the Golden Leaf General like a child and bit his neck. Her sharp canine teeth instantly pierced his defense. Bah! 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 Bullshit alien demons, their blood doesn't taste good at all. Korkina's face was so ugly that she spat a few times on the ground. She broke the Golden Leaf General's neck and threw his body to the ground. The Golden Leaf General pounced on the Wolf Emperor Lev, waving the 2-meter-long machete in his hand and chopping down fiercely. Lev roared and raised his hand to grab the blade of the machete. The originally sharp machete was crushed like a hemp stick in his hand. The Golden Leaf General was shocked. He thought that the 4 devil generals could sweep this place today, but he didn't expect these people to be so fierce. In a panic, he turned around and ran, but Lev didn't give him a chance at all and punched him in the back. The Tui general's huge body was sent flying into the air. He began to spit out mouthfuls of blood in midair. Then, he hit his head on a rock next to him. Although he was not dead yet, he was barely alive. Relatively speaking, the Golden Leaf General died a more dignified death. Kothaway had already been recognized by the Angel's Heart, a sacred object of the divine court, and had infinite holy power. Now she had the divine crown and God's favor. With the 3 sacred objects in one body, she was definitely comparable to a divine realm master. The Golden Leaf General held a long spear in his hand and stabbed at Kothaway with murderous intent. Kothaway gently waved the God's favor in her hand, and a huge light shield immediately appeared in front of her. Although this light shield was composed of pure holy power, it was condensed and extremely powerful. After the Golden Leaf General's spear stabbed into it, there was a sound of gold and iron colliding, and it could not move forward at all. Although this light shield consumed a lot of light holy power, the divine crown on Kothaway's head flashed and instantly filled the consumed holy power. This was the horror of a sacred object. With the divine crown, she had almost endless holy power. Kothaway waved the God's favor again, and a huge light shield shone down from the sky, trapping the Golden Leaf General in it. Although the alien demons came from a different space, they were still one of the dark creatures. As soon as they encountered the Radiant Saint force, their defenses immediately collapsed. The Flame Leaf General did not even have time to scream before he was purified completely. Seeing his 3 companions die miserably, the Golden Leaf General was scared out of his wits. He turned around and ran. Golden Leaf General's Leaf General was shocked, and he. Leaf, the Golden Leaf General he had turned, could, and ran, woo, and, the, and, who, and, God. Golden Leaf General was seriously injured and frightened at the same time. He could not even use his usual strength, so he became a delicious meal for the Golden Leaf General. Ever since the appearance of the 4 great demon generals, the Golden Leaf General and the Spirit Beast Bag had become extremely excited. It kept begging Qin Haodong, and only then was it released. After swallowing the Golden Leaf General, the Golden Leaf General's body, which was as black as ink, changed a little. It faintly shone with a glimmer of light. As its master, Qin Haodong could feel that the Golden Leaf General was a little stronger than before. It could be seen that the alien demon was a rare tonic for the Golden Leaf General, which could actually help it evolve. After swallowing the Golden Leaf General was not satisfied. It rolled its big tongue again and swallowed the Silver Leaf General next to it. Then, it jumped and came in front of the Golden Leaf General again. It rolled its big tongue and was about to roll the Golden Leaf General into its stomach. "You can't eat this. I still need it." Qin Haodong hurriedly stopped the Golden Leaf General. It was not easy to keep an alien demon alive. It would be a pity if the Golden Leaf General was eaten like this. After receiving its master's order, the Golden Leaf General reluctantly put down the food in its mouth. However, it kept watching covetously. As long as Qin Haodong gave the order, it would swallow the Golden Leaf General again. The people nearby were all shocked. No one knew when such a big Golden Leaf General had appeared. They all hid far away and watched. The Golden Leaf General was punched by Lei Fu. With his strong defense, he was only seriously injured and fell to the ground. He did not die, but the Golden Leaf General was scared out of his wits. Qin Haodong kicked him and made him sit up. Then he asked, "Answer my questions honestly, or you know the consequences." Since this was the first time he had encountered the alien demon and there was only one survivor, he did not dare to use the mind-manipulating skill rashly. If he killed the Golden Leaf General, there would be no more questions. The Golden Leaf General glanced at the Golden Leaf General, who was drooling, and said quickly, I know. I'll tell you whatever you ask. I won't hide anything, as long as you don't feed me to it." Qin Haodong asked, "Tell me, where is the lair of the alien demons?" "I don't know." Seeing Qin Haodong's face darkening, the Golden Leaf General quickly explained, "What I said is true. We are alien demons, but we have been guarding the empire where the sun never sets and have never been to the headquarters. Except for the royal family of the alien demons, the other alien demons have no right to go to the headquarters at all." Qin Haodong frowned. It seemed that the alien demon's lair in the empire where the sun never sets was just a branch, not the real lair. Qin Haodong asked, "Is Angel Pharmaceutical under the jurisdiction of your branch?" "That's right. They are indeed under the command of our branch." Qin Haodong asked, "Why did you ask Angel Pharmaceutical to develop a large-scale virus?" Well, the Golden Leaf General hesitated. Obviously, this question had touched his sore spot. "Why? Don't you want to tell me?" As if feeling its master's anger, the three-legged golden toad's big tongue immediately brushed General Tui's face. I'll tell you. General Tui said, "The alien demon emperor is going to reopen the seal of the passage connecting to the alien demon realm. He needs a lot of souls, so he asked us to develop an incurable virus. When it's needed, he will kill humans on a large scale and get their souls." Qin Haodong's face immediately became cold. If the seal was really reopened, it would definitely be a disaster for human beings. He had to stop it. "How does the alien demon emperor want to open the seal?" "I don't know. I'm just a devil general. That's all I know." Qin Haodong asked again, "Where is the seal of the passage of the alien demons?" General Tui shook his head again. "The seal of the passage is a secret of the alien demons. Only the alien demon emperor knows its specific location. No one else knows." Qin Haodong asked, "Aren't you from the alien demon realm?" General Tui said, "How is that possible? The average lifespan of the alien demons is only about 200 years old. I'm just 130 years old this year. I'm a descendant of the alien demons on Earth. However, in recent years, it has become more and more difficult for the alien demons to survive on Earth. Their reproduction rate is getting lower and lower. They don't have enough power to dominate this place. That's why the alien demon emperor is in a hurry to reopen the seal and bring our people to Earth." Qin Haodong asked, "How powerful are the alien demons now? How many masters of your level are there? What level has the alien demon emperor reached?" General Tui said, "There are not many alien demons now. There are about 1,000 of them. There are a total of 12 devil generals of my level. The alien demon emperor's cultivation is unfathomable. We don't know exactly how strong he is." Qin Haodong asked, "Apart from the alien demon emperor, are there any masters who are stronger than you?" General Tui said, "There are still masters in the royal family. Some are as strong as us, and some are stronger than us. We don't know exactly how many there are." Qin Haodong thought for a moment and asked, "Is there a branch of the alien demons in Huaxia? Are there any alien demons who can transform into humans?" General Tui said, "There should be. After all, Huaxia is our main target. There are many people there, and it will be easier to collect the souls to break the seal." But this is just a guess. I don't know the specific situation there. Qin Haodong frowned. Although he had caught a high-level alien demon this time, the harvest was still limited. For example, he hadn't gotten the information he wanted yet. He asked again, "Where are you born? Where are the rest of the alien demons?" General Tui said, "We were born underground and we don't know where it is. When we reach a certain age and have the ability to fight, we are sent out. We are never allowed to go back, so we don't know where the headquarters are." Qin Haodong asked a few more questions, but he still didn't get any other information. It seemed that the alien demon emperor was also very careful with his own people and didn't let them know too much. "Are you telling the truth?" Seeing that he had collected enough information, Qin Haodong directly used the mind-manipulating skill. General Tui suddenly bled from his 7 orifices and stopped breathing. As expected, the alien demons were different from the human clan. They couldn't bear the mind-manipulating skill. Qin Haodong waved his hand and the 3-legged golden toad's big tongue rolled up and swallowed General Tui. Those who were not of the human clan must have a different heart. Qin Haodong naturally wouldn't show any mercy to such a foreign race that always wanted to destroy the human clan. After eating 3 alien demon generals, the 3-legged golden toad's body became brighter and brighter. It jumped back into the spirit beast bag. Qin Haodong scanned it with his spirit and found that the 3-legged golden toad began to sleep after returning to the spirit beast bag. It seemed that it had obtained enough energy and was about to advance. After a second, Qin Haodong looked at Corkina and said, "From now on, you will be the president of the Dark Council. Lei Fu will be responsible for assisting you. But remember, you must not have any conflict with the Divine Court. Our common enemy now is the alien demons." "Yes, Master." Corkina and Lei Fu bowed together. "Take your people back and send them out. You must find the lair of the alien demons." "Yes, Master." The 2 of them answered and left with the Dark Clan. Qin Haodong turned to look at Cathaway and said, "Take your people back to the Holy Palace first. I will make up for your red-clothed high priests and holy knights." He had just seen that the holy power of light could still restrain the alien demons. In the future, in the battle against the alien demons, the Divine Court would be an indispensable force. Now that Cathaway had become the emperor, the other red-clothed high priests and holy knights would also become his people. This was the fastest way to improve his cultivation at present. "Okay, I'll wait for you in the holy city." Cathaway knew that the most important thing at the moment was to reorganize the Divine Court, so she didn't say anything more and went back with the rest of the clergy. Chapter 853. After the people of the Divine Court and the Dark Parliament left, there were only 2 people left in front of the huge cave. Qin Haodong looked at Shi Yumi and said with a smile, "It's really hard for you. You're a master of the Saint Realm, but you've been hiding around me for so long." At this time, Shi Yumi was like a different person. Although she was still smiling like a flower and was beautiful and charming, her every move had the momentum of a superior. She asked, "I think my identity is flawless. How did you find out the flaw? Do you want to know?" Qin Haodong said with a smile. Although this woman must have another purpose for hiding beside him, he didn't have much resentment for Shi Yumi since she had taken a bullet for him and risked her life to save him this time. Therefore, he was more curious about her than anything else. Shi Yumi said with a smile, "Of course I do. I really want to know what the problem is." Qin Haodong said, "It is said that women have a 6th sense. In fact, men also have it. When you were with me, I always had a feeling of uneasiness in my heart. At first, I thought you were an alien demon who sneaked in, but now it seems that I guessed wrong. This makes me even more curious. Who on earth are you? You have such a high cultivation and you didn't hesitate to sacrifice your body to approach me. What's your purpose?" Shi Yumi did not directly answer his question. Instead, she continued to ask, "Your reason is too far-fetched. It doesn't explain the problem." Qin Haodong said, "Indeed, the feeling can't be used as direct evidence. What really made me start to suspect you was after the assassination in the bar. I have to say, your disguise is almost perfect and flawless, but you forgot that I'm a doctor. When I was treating you, I found that the bullet should have pierced your heart, but it didn't. Because you're a master, you can adjust your muscle tissue to change the trajectory of the bullet, so it didn't cause too much damage to you in the end. If it were anyone else, they wouldn't be able to see the flaw, but I'm a doctor. Shiyumi said, you're indeed the medical sage. You can even find such a small flaw. Qin Haodong said, I've said what I should say. Now it's your turn. Tell me who you are and why you approached me. Shiyumi winked at him mischievously and said teasingly, guess. We've met once before. Qin Haodong frowned and said, it's too difficult. If I could guess, I would have guessed it long ago. Shiyumi said, is it that difficult? Don't tell me you've seen a lot of saints. Especially a woman. This sentence enlightened Qin Haodong. He listed all the saints he knew from beginning to end and found that there seemed to be no other female saints except Shenyuan Ligay. Suddenly, his heart skipped a beat and he said with a look of horror, you're the sect master of the Devil Gate, Yao Li. You've finally figured it out. Looks like you're not too stupid after all. Although he was sure of his answer, Qin Haodong still couldn't believe his eyes. The last time he faced the demon sect leader Li in Shanghai, she was an old woman over 60 years old. How did she suddenly become a sexy and enchanting beauty? It was precisely because of the huge contrast between the two that he had never thought in that direction. What? Do you think it's strange? Shiyumi said, our Devil Gate has been passed down for thousands of years. We always have some trump cards, such as the disguise skill and the secret skill to hide our cultivation skills. 10 years ago, my master, who was the previous sect master, passed away. In a place like our demon sect, where the strong preyed on the weak, she was afraid that I would be too young to control those old demons, so before she passed away, she asked me to disguise myself as her. When you saw me in Shanghai, it was actually my disguise. Qin Haodong came to his senses and said, is your current appearance real? Shiyumi rolled her eyes at him and said, of course it's my original appearance. Qin Haodong said, you're a sect master. Why did you disguise yourself as a fashion designer? What do you mean by disguise? It's so unpleasant to hear. I'm acting as myself now. I'm neither disguising myself nor disguising myself. I'm a top fashion designer. Shiyumi said, as the saying goes, a great hermit hides in the city. I know that the Shenyuan Pavilion has been looking for me all these years, but I've been right under their noses and no one has ever found me. Qin Haodong asked, then why did you approach me? Did you direct what happened that night? Shiyumi said, yes, that night I calculated the road you would pass by and found 2 disciples of our sect to play hooligans, so that you had a chance to save the damsel in distress. Including the encounter on the plane this time, in fact, I investigated in advance. The seat close to you didn't belong to me. I bought it from someone else. The reason why I approached you is that what you said about the alien demon is too bizarre. We have never heard any news about the alien demon for thousands of years. Why do you know it so clearly? So I wanted to investigate you and see if it was a conspiracy between you and Shenyuan Ligay. Qin Haodong said playfully, is it just because of this? If it's just for this reason, it doesn't seem worth it for the sect master of the Devil Gate to spend so much effort to seduce me, right? Seduce you? Did I? At this time, Shiyumi seemed to have become that sexy and charming fashion designer again. Didn't you? Why do I feel that you did? Since you felt it, why didn't you take the bait? Could it be that I'm not beautiful and you can't be tempted? Qin Haodong was speechless. It seemed that no matter who the other party was and how high her cultivation was, her thinking was still different from that of a man. Should this be her focus at this time? Seeing that he did not speak, Shiyumi rolled her eyes at him and said discontentedly, to tell you the truth, I did have another purpose for approaching you. Since you appeared, not only did more and more saints around you, but there are also many talents in the Tsihang Sword House. More than half of the elders and sect masters have broken through the threshold of the Saint Realm. If this goes on, how can we survive? So in my opinion, you must have some special way to help people improve their cultivation. That's why I deliberately approached you. My purpose is to find this secret method. Although I didn't get your secret method, I also gained something. I reached the middle stage from the early stage of the Saint Realm. At that time, I left the Fashion Week to find a place to break through. Hearing what she said, Qin Haodong suddenly understood. Everything was reasonable. The Devil Gate had been fighting with the Zihang Sword House for so many years, so it was impossible for them not to notice their movements. Seeing that Xianyuan Ligai's side produced saints one after another, but the Devil Gate did not move forward, as the sect master, it was natural for him to be anxious. Qin Haodong said, "There is indeed no secret method for the elders of the Zihang Sword House to improve their cultivation, but I gave them some pills. Now I can give you some too. Go back and improve the cultivation of the elders of the Devil Gate." After saying that, he took out a lot of pills, including the Saint Pill, from the storage ring, put them in a bag, and handed it to Shiyumi, explaining how to use it. Shiyumi took the pills and asked in surprise, "It's understandable that you gave the Zihang Sword House pills, but now you are so generous to our Devil Gate. Aren't you afraid that we will become your enemies after taking the pills?" Qin Haodong said, "That's for later. Our top priority now is to deal with the invasion of the alien demons. If they really open the space channel, the whole Earth will be finished. There will be no distinction between the Devil Gate and the Zihang Sword House." "That's true, but I still admire your magnanimity." Shiyumi put away the pills and said, "But according to what I know, your women have all suddenly become 9th-level supreme power masters from ordinary people. Do you have any secrets that you haven't told me?" Qin Haodong said, "That's different. My women and I use the secret method of dual cultivation. No one else can use it." Shiyumi gave him a flirtatious look and said, "Who said it can't be used? I'm also a woman." Qin Haodong said, "My dual cultivation method is only useful for those below the Saint Realm. It won't work for those above the Saint Realm." Shiyumi said with a flirtatious look, "But I always feel that you are lying to me. How about we give it a try?" Qin Haodong was speechless again. She was indeed the sect master of the Devil Gate. He really couldn't figure out what she was thinking. "Well, if there's nothing else, I'll leave first." He was about to leave when Shiyumi called out, "Wait a minute, I have one last question." Qin Haodong looked at Shiyumi and saw her eyes wander as she said, "We've been together for so long. Have you ever liked me? Even if it's just a little bit?" Looking at her burning eyes, Qin Haodong said with a little guilt, "You're the sect master of the Devil Gate, and I'm just a little doctor. We're destined not to be together. Why do we have to worry about those things?" After that, he rose into the air and flew into the distance. Looking at the direction in which he was leaving, Shiyumi smiled and murmured, "Who said that the sect master of the Devil Gate can't be with a doctor? Is there such a rule in the marriage law?" Qin Haodong stepped on the flying sword and soon returned to the small valley on the outskirts of the empire where the sun never sets. When he landed, Ma Wenjue was already waiting there with the other members of the Daddy Security Company. Ma Wenjue stepped forward and asked, "Boss, where have you been? Why didn't you take us with you?" "I went to the Crow Grand Canyon and a lot of things happened there." Qin Haodong told them about the treasure hunt from beginning to end. When they heard that the alien demons had officially shown up, everyone became serious. Qin Haodong said, "Although there are not many alien demons, their strength is absolutely tyrannical. The devil generals have reached the late stage of the Saint Realm, so you have to hurry up and improve your cultivation." Qin Haodong said, "Although there are not many alien demons, they are absolutely powerful. The devil generals have reached the late stage of the Saint Realm, so you have to hurry up and improve your cultivation." As he spoke, he took out the 3 holy light cross swords and 6 holy hexagrams he had brought back from the divine court. "As long as you get the inheritance, you can immediately enter the Saint Realm." With Chen Fugui and Zhang Feiyang as precedents, everyone was no stranger to the inheritance. They knew that it was the best way to quickly improve their cultivation, so 9 people immediately stood up. "Boss, we're willing." Qin Haodong gave them cleansing pills. After they became pure, he asked them to win the recognition of the holy hexagrams and the holy light cross swords respectively. An hour later, 3 holy knights and 6 red-robed high priests were born in this small valley. After a while, the sky was already bright. Qin Haodong did not let everyone go back to rest. Instead, he took them directly to the headquarters of the Divine Court in Australia, the Sacred City. After Cathaway returned to the Sacred City, the situation in the Sacred City was soon stabilized because she was recognized as the master of the Divine Crown and had the help of Chen Fugui and Zhang Feiyang. When she heard that Qin Haodong was coming, she immediately took some people to welcome him. Chapter 854. The Sacred City was an ancient building that had been passed down from ancient times. It had only been repaired and its original appearance had not been changed. When they came to the lobby of the Divine Hall, Qin Haodong introduced all the red priests and holy knights he had brought with him to Cathaway. When they saw the holy power displayed by these people, Cathaway and Alex were both shocked. Compared with those in the Divine Court, the red priests and holy knights trained by Qin Haodong were even more powerful. Looking at the handsome oriental face in front of her, Alex had mixed feelings. Ever since she met this man, the entire Divine Court had undergone earth-shaking changes in just a few days. The Emperor had been replaced by Cathaway. None of the original 4 holy knights were left, and she was the only one left of the 6 red priests. In other words, although Qin Haodong did not sit on the throne, he had changed the entire Divine Court. Not only the Divine Court, but also the Dark Council was under his control. It could be said that this person was the actual ruler of the entire Western world. Cathaway said, "Dr. Qin, thank you for doing so much for our Divine Court." Qin Haodong said, "You're welcome. We must work together in front of the enemy." Although he had now integrated the forces of the East and the West, he still felt a little uneasy after seeing the strength of the Devil General. Although he had the advantage in numbers, he did not have the advantage in strength. After all, the battle between masters could not be changed by numbers. He had not seen the shadow of the alien demon emperor yet, and he did not know how powerful he was. Therefore, the top priority was to find every way to improve his strength and strive to enter the soul formation stage as soon as possible. Thinking of this, he said to Cathaway, "I want to ask, where did the bead on the Divine Crown come from?" "You mean the Netherworld Stone?" Compared with Cathaway, who had just taken control of the Divine Court, Alex knew more about the previous situation. She said, "Ever since the Divine Crown of the first generation of the Divine Emperor was lost, the Divine Court has tried everything to find it, but it has not been found. Later, they made a fake Divine Crown and replaced the original Holy Stone with the Netherworld Stone." Qin Haodong knew that the Netherworld Stone should be the top-grade spirit stone he needed. He said eagerly, "Yes, that's the kind of stone." "Does the Divine Court still have it?" Alice said, "Although the nethergreen stone is a precious gem, it doesn't have much use for us clergymen other than as decoration. That nethergreen stone was passed down from a long time ago. I'm not too sure if it's there or not. I'll have to go to the Celestial Court's treasury to find out." Qin Haodong said, "This kind of Qingming stone is extremely important to me. Can you take me to have a look?" This time, Alice could not make a decision. She looked at Cathaway. After all, she was the God Emperor. Cathaway nodded and said, "Of course. If there are more, you can take them away." The reason why she was so generous was that she had feelings for Qin Haodong. Also, as she had said before, the alien demons were around. This was a matter of life and death for the entire human clan. Naturally, she would not care about a few stones. After saying that, Alex brought the 2 of them to the treasury of the Divine Court. As the most powerful faction in the West, the Divine Court, which had been passed down for thousands of years, had an incomparably huge treasury that contained countless treasures. After walking through the door, Qin Haodong immediately felt the strong spiritual qi. There were all kinds of treasures, including antiques, swords, and weapons. Any one of them could be sold at a sky-high price outside. However, Qin Haodong did not care about these things. All he wanted were the top-grade spirit stones. The huge treasury was divided into more than a dozen rooms, covering an area of thousands of square meters. Qin Haodong walked through them one by one, but he did not find any upper-grade spirit stones. Could it be that it was the only top-grade spirit stone? Just as he was feeling disappointed, Alice opened the door of the last treasure room. After the heavy wooden door was opened, a strong gust of spiritual qi suddenly rushed out. Is this the top-grade spirit stone? Qin Haodong saw a small wooden box in the corner of the warehouse at a glance. There were dozens of top-grade spirit stones in it. Oh my god, there are so many. Qin Haodong had never expected that there would be so many top-grade spirit stones, which were extremely rare in the cultivation world, in the warehouse of the Divine Court. Moreover, they were just piled up here as useless decorations. He walked over and held the wooden box in his arms. He counted them from beginning to end and found that there were 36 of them. With so many top-grade spirit stones, it would be enough for him to cultivate to the divine transformation realm. Seeing his excited expression, Cathaway said, "Dr. Qin, if you need them, feel free to take them." "Then I'll thank you." Qin Haodong nodded. It seemed that this trip was really worthwhile. He had found so many top-grade spirit stones at once. Suddenly, his heart skipped a beat. One could never have too many good things. Since there were so many top-grade spirit stones in the treasury of the Divine Court, there must be some in the Dark Council. Thinking of this, he could not wait to say goodbye to Cathaway and the others and went directly to the headquarters of the Dark Council, the Dark Castle. Here, he was more warmly received. After all, the new speaker of the Dark Council, Corkina, and Wolf Emperor Leaf were his servants. Here, Qin Haodong did not stand on ceremony. He said to Corkina, "Take me to the treasury of the Dark Council. I want to find something." Corkina and Leaf took Qin Haodong to the treasury of the Dark Council. It looked larger than the one in the Divine Court, about 2,000 square meters. This was not surprising. After thousands of years of inheritance, all the treasures collected by the entire Dark World were stored here. What was different from the one in the Divine Court was that some of the treasures here had a dark aura, and some had a strong smell of blood. They were all obtained through killing and robbery. Qin Haodong looked around as he walked. He searched the entire treasury, but he did not find any top-grade spirit stones. He could not help but feel a little disappointed. However, after thinking about it, he felt relieved. Treasures like supreme-grade spirit stones were rare even in the cultivation world. To be able to obtain so many by chance in the Divine Court was already a great fortune. One should not be too greedy. Thinking of this, he was about to leave. When he walked to the door, he suddenly saw an animal skin bag in the corner. The mouth of the bag was open, and there was a faint fragrance coming from inside. What's this? Driven by curiosity, Qin Haodong grabbed the animal skin bag and opened it to look inside. His heart almost jumped out of his chest when he saw it. There were 3 small black balls lying in the bag, with patterns almost like stars and moons on the surface. The fragrance came from them. Seeing that Qin Haodong was interested in this thing, Corkina explained, "I know this. About 300 years ago, a Grand Duke of our blood kindred killed an Eastern practitioner. This bag was taken at that time. Treasure, this is a great treasure." Qin Haodong did not care about its origin. He reached out and grabbed the 3 small balls in his hand. Leaf came over to have a look. He did not see anything special about the 3 little things. He asked curiously, "Master, what are these?" "These are good things. They are called starry moon Bodhi seeds. Legend has it that only a 10,000-year-old Bodhi tree can bear starry moon Bodhi seeds. They are 10 times more precious than 1,000-year-old ginseng." Leaf did not understand traditional Chinese medicine, nor did he know how precious ginseng was, but Qin Haodong was happy to see it. After reaching the Saint Realm, it was extremely difficult to improve one's cultivation, especially in a place like Earth, where spiritual qi was scarce. The only way to help the people around you improve their cultivation quickly was to take elixirs. To improve the cultivation of a saint, the best elixir was the nature elixir. Qin Haodong had the recipe of the nature elixir. As the name suggested, this elixir could improve one's cultivation. As long as one took it, it could help a saint realm master improve by one level. If one had good qualifications and a deep foundation, it would not be difficult to break through to the divine realm. It was a pity that it was too difficult to find the main ingredient of the nature elixir, the starry moon Bodhi seed. Some time ago, he had asked Lin Momo to search around through the traditional Chinese medicine company, but there was no result. He did not expect to find 3 here today. After leaving the treasure house, Qin Haodong left the west and flew back to Huaxia. This trip was not in vain. Not only did he break through to the late nascent soul stage, but he also got 36 top-grade spirit stones. At the same time, there were 3 Bodhi seeds, which could help the people around him improve quickly. After returning to the capital, the first thing he did was to practice in seclusion. 3 days later, he came out again. It seemed that there was no difference from before, but only he knew the great change. Then he took the little fellow into the alchemy room to refine the nature elixir. As an elixir that could improve the cultivation of a saint, the nature elixir had extremely high requirements for the flame and technique of alchemy. After reaching the nascent soul stage, Qin Haodong could also release his own alchemy fire, but the effect was far less than that of the vermilion bird. After so many times of alchemy, Tang Tang was already familiar with it. When Qin Haodong set up the Shenong tripod, she opened her mouth and spat out a flame. At this moment, the flame she spat out was golden, but there was a faint trace of white, which was infinitely close to the Samadhi real fire. Qin Haodong quickly controlled the alchemy furnace, took out the medicinal materials from the storage ring and threw them into the Shenong tripod one by one, and slowly refined them. Half an hour later, when the other medicinal materials had been refined into medicinal liquid, he carefully threw out a starry moon Bodhi seed. Another 10 minutes later, the whole alchemy room was filled with a strong fragrance. Qin Haodong reached out and patted the Shenong tripod gently. 12 golden elixirs flew out and fell into the prepared jade bottle. Great, there are 12 of them at once. Qin Haodong was overjoyed. Originally, he was afraid that there were too few nature elixirs. Now there were as many as 12 in one furnace, which was basically enough to meet his current needs. Next, he refined 2 more furnaces of elixirs. When he walked out of the alchemy room, there were 36 more nature elixirs in the storage ring. He took out a bottle of nature elixir and handed it to Lin Momo. After such a long period of cultivation, his women had basically reached the saint realm. Then he called Xianyuan Ligay and Shi Yumi, and sent someone to invite his father, Qin Zongheng, to his home. The 3 of them were masters at the middle stage of the saint realm. He wanted to see how much change the nature elixir could bring to them. It would be best if they could break through to the divine realm in one fell swoop. Chapter 855. The first person to come to the Tang sect was Shi Yumi, the leader of the Devil Gate. Little brother, I didn't expect to meet you again so soon. Why did you call me here? Do you miss me? Shi Yumi's identity was exposed. She no longer maintained the image of a designer, but showed the charm of the leader of the Devil Gate. After her, Xianyuan Ligay and Qin Zongheng arrived one after another. After Qin Haodong introduced them to everyone, Xianyuan Ligay looked at Shi Yumi up and down. The Devil Gate and the Zihang Sword House had been fighting for thousands of years, but now they could calmly cooperate with each other. She felt a little strange. Qin Zongheng asked, Haodong, why did you call us here? Qin Haodong told them what he had experienced on this trip to the west from beginning to end. At last, he said, now the alien demons are powerful, and the most important thing for us is to improve our cultivation. I just refined a furnace of nature pills, which are very beneficial for the saints. Shi Yumi asked, nature pills. The name sounds good. Little brother, how useful can this pill be? If it's too slow, I'm afraid it's too late. Qin Haodong said, the nature pills can help you improve by at least one level. If you're lucky, it won't be difficult for you to break through to the divine realm. Shi Yumi said, really? That's great. Hurry up and give one to me. Qin Haodong said, if the momentum of breaking through to the divine realm is too great, it's not appropriate for us to stay here. Let's go outside. The three of them nodded and followed Qin Haodong to the Shenbao mountain on the outskirts of the capital. He was already familiar with this place. He took the three of them to the top of the mountain and asked them to choose a suitable place to sit down. Then he took out 3 nature pills and gave them to the three of them. If he just wanted to improve to the late stage of the Saint Realm, 1 nature pill was enough, but if he wanted to help them break through to the divine realm, he naturally had to use more. Qin Haodong set up formations and restrictions around them, and then guarded the three of them. He asked them to take the pills to break through. According to the arrangement, the three of them took a nature pill each. After an hour, they all broke through to the late stage of the Saint Realm, which showed the magic of this pill. After that, the three of them stuffed the remaining 2 creation pills into their mouths and began to focus on breaking through to the godly state. Among the three of them, Qin Zongheng was the rare martial arts genius of the Qin family. His aptitude was excellent, and he had reached the middle stage of the Saint Realm many years ago. His foundation was the deepest. 2 hours later, he was the first to complete his breakthrough. The surrounding qi of heaven and earth gathered towards the divine treasure mountain like crazy. The wind and clouds in the sky changed, and dark clouds covered the sky. Although it was already the beginning of winter, there were still faint sounds of thunder. Qin Zongheng's aura soared and he finally stepped into the divine state. After him, Shi Yumi and Xuanyuan's gu broke through almost at the same time and both entered the divine realm. Qin Haodong was quite surprised by this result. He had thought that it would be lucky if 1 or 2 of them could make a breakthrough. He did not expect that the 3 of them had reached the divine realm together with their excellent qualifications. Shi Yumi stood up and said charmingly, "Little brother, your medicine is really powerful. Thank you. We'll all follow your orders in the future." Then she came to Qin Haodong's side, winked at him and said, "Do you have any more of this medicine? Give some to our devil gate. We can't be biased." Qin Haodong said, "Here are 5 creation pills. Take them to the masters who have reached the Saint Realm. The number of pills is limited. Don't waste them." A hint of joy flashed across Shi Yumi's face. "Thank you." After that, she took the pills, said goodbye to Qin Haodong, and rose into the sky. Qin Haodong gave Xianyuan Ligay some more pills and asked her to take them back to the Zihang Sword House. After cultivating 3 God State Masters, Qin Haodong finally breathed a sigh of relief. In addition to Cathaway, Lo, and Corkina, he already had 6 God State Masters. Even if the alien demon emperor appeared, he would still be able to fight against him. The next few days were peaceful. Everyone was taking the time to improve their strength. Qin Haodong had been staying in the Tang sect to help them make breakthroughs. A week passed. One morning, when Qin Haodong woke up, he found that it was silver outside. The first snow of early winter had wrapped the entire capital. After breakfast, Qin Haodong's phone rang. He picked it up and took a look. It was Hua Mingrui, the tea fairy. The phone was connected, and Hua Mingrui's bitter voice came from the other side. "Haodong, I heard that you've returned to the capital." Feeling the bitterness in her tone, Qin Haodong couldn't help but have a headache. It seemed that it was not a good thing to have too many love debts. He said, "Yes, I came back a week ago." Hua Mingrui said, "You've been back for so long, but you haven't come to see me. Have you forgotten me?" Qin Haodong said awkwardly, "No, I've been busy recently." Hua Mingrui sighed faintly and said, "Today is the first snow of early winter. Can you drink tea with me and enjoy the plum blossoms?" Qin Haodong hesitated for a moment, but in the end, he couldn't bear to refuse. He said, "Yes, where can I find you?" Hua Mingrui said, "Let's go to the plum garden in the east of the city." I'll make some tea and wait for you here. After hanging up the phone, Qin Haodong arrived at the plum garden in the east of the city half an hour later. The environment here was extremely beautiful. Next to it was a small artificial lake. At the moment, it was covered with thin ice and a layer of white snow. There was a plum forest by the lake, but it was just winter. There were only a few plum blossoms in full bloom. The delicate petals looked particularly gorgeous in the white snow. Beside the lake, in the middle of the plum forest, there was a simple tea table and 2 chairs. Hua Mingrui was wearing a fiery red woolen coat, and her hair was tied up high. Her delicate and flawless face made her look like a fairy from heaven, which made people's hearts beat faster. When Qin Haodong came over, she had already made a pot of tea. The strong fragrance of tea filled the entire plum garden in the breeze. Haodong, you're here. After seeing Qin Haodong, a strange look flashed in Hua Mingrui's eyes. She pulled him to sit beside her. They held hands and Qin Haodong's expression changed slightly. Then he said, "The tea fairy is really elegant. There is snow, plum blossoms and fragrant tea here. It's simply a paradise on earth. It's all prepared for you." Hua Mingrui personally poured a cup of fragrant tea for Qin Haodong and said, "You've been back for so long, but you didn't come to see me. I had to take the initiative to invite you." Qin Haodong said, "It's nothing. It's just that there have been too many things recently." Hua Mingrui said, "I've been to the Donghui Clinic of Traditional Chinese Medicine, but I didn't see you. What have you been busy with?" Qin Haodong said, "Some business matters. I've been busy all day, but it's nothing serious. Taste the tea I made. How far is the gap between you and me?" Hua Mingrui did not continue the topic. She handed a cup of fragrant tea to Qin Haodong. Qin Haodong took the teacup, squinted his eyes and sniffed it. He said with admiration, "Not bad. Your attainments in the tea ceremony have improved again, and the tea is also very good. This is the leaf picked from the mother tree of Dahongpo. I got it from my grandfather. He only has a few taels of it." Hua Mingrui looked straight at Qin Haodong and said, "Don't just smell it. Taste it." Qin Haodong picked up the teacup and took a sip. He said with an intoxicated look, "Good tea. It's really good. If you don't put the soul-numbing powder in it, the taste will be even better." Hearing this, Hua Mingrui's expression suddenly changed and the teacup in her hand spilled out. "How did you know?" Qin Haodong said with a smile, "As a doctor, of course I'm familiar with all kinds of poisons. The soul-numbing powder has no effect on ordinary people, but it's a highly toxic poison for masters above the saint realm. It can directly poison the soul of a person. After eating it, the person will feel weak all over and be no different from an ordinary person. However, the soul-numbing powder needs the soul-numbing grass as the raw material, and this grass grows next to volcanoes. It's very difficult to pick one, so this kind of poison is extremely rare. I really don't know where you got it." Hua Mingrui said with a complicated expression, "You also know my identity?" Qin Haodong nodded with a smile. Hua Mingrui said, "When did you find it?" "Just now." After a little panic flashed across Hua Mingrui's face, she quickly calmed down and asked again, "I don't think I have any flaws." "How did you find out?" Qin Haodong said, "You underestimate the wisdom of the human clan. When I went to the west this time, I found the relics left by the Yellow Emperor Xianyuan, a powerful figure in Huaxia. Senior Xianyuan said that the high-level members of the alien demon clan are good at changing, but no matter how much you change, you can't erase your own aura. In order to find the hidden alien demon clan, he also left us a finger of a devil general. When I got the finger bone, I was quite surprised. It seemed that I had seen this kind of aura before, but I couldn't remember it for a while. It wasn't until I held hands with you just now that I suddenly realized that this aura came from you. I thought I was a human now, but I didn't expect that I'm still different from you." A lonely look flashed across Hua Mingrui's delicate face, and then she asked, "Since you've seen through my identity, why are you still so calm? Is it useful to panic?" Qin Haodong said, the strength of the alien demon clan is indeed very strong. This time I met the 4 devil generals in the west. Their cultivation is comparable to our human clan's late-stage Saint Realm warriors. I believe that you will only be stronger than them. Hua Mingrui said, since you know that my tea is poisoned, why did you still drink it? Qin Haodong said, I didn't care at first, but after drinking it, I found that the tea was poisoned. I didn't expect that you would use such a despicable method when you are so strong. Isn't that good? A lonely look flashed across Hua Mingrui's face again. Whether you believe it or not, I have always regarded you as my friend, so I don't want to fight with you. It would be best if I could poison you. Qin Haodong asked, can you tell me your identity in the alien demon clan? Hua Mingrui said, my father is the alien demon emperor, and I'm his daughter, Princess Geruo. Chapter 856. Qin Haodong said with a wry smile, I didn't expect you to be the princess of the alien demon tribe. Even the princess has come. So I'm going to die today? Hua Mingrui's face flashed with a trace of pity. I really don't want to kill you, but your existence has seriously threatened the plan of our alien demon tribe. It's my father's order to kill you. I can't do anything about it. You can't blame others. Blame yourself for growing up too fast. Ever since you developed the blood revival elixir, you have been constantly destroying our plans and attacking our industry. At first, you were just an ordinary warrior, but now you have even broken through to the Saint Realm and killed the 4 devil generals of our alien demon tribe. In order to open the space channel and welcome millions of my people, I have to carry out my father's order, although I don't want to. Qin Haodong said, for the sake of our previous friendship, can you satisfy my curiosity before I die? I don't want to die without understanding some things. Hua Mingrui said, tell me. I will satisfy you as long as I know. As the daughter of the alien demon emperor, Princess Garo of the alien demon tribe, Qin Haodong was already a dead man in her eyes, so she was not afraid to tell the secret. Qin Haodong said, I want to know, what's the relationship between you and the tea fairy? This was very important to him. If Princess Garo was the tea fairy, Hua Mingrui, it meant that the Hua family had an inextricable relationship with the alien demon tribe. The consequences would be serious. Hua Mingrui said, I know what you mean, but I can tell you for sure that I am me and the Hua family is the Hua family. There is no connection between us. As early as 3 years ago, our hybrid demon ancestor made this plan. I was responsible for breaking into the upper class of the capital, so I killed the previous Hua Mingrui at a suitable opportunity. I changed into her appearance and replaced her identity. Because I particularly like the tea ceremony of the human tribe, there was a flower fairy in the capital from then on. Qin Haodong breathed a sigh of relief. Although he felt sorry for the death of Hua Mingrui, it was also good news. Hua Mingrui said, to be honest, I like my current identity and I like my beautiful appearance. In comparison, the appearance of our alien demons is too ugly. The past 3 years were the happiest days of my life. I like this identity more and more. I worked hard to do everything that belonged to Hua Mingrui. Sometimes, I even forgot that I was an alien demon. It wasn't until you killed the 4 great demon generals 7 days ago that my imperial father gave me the order to kill you. Only then did I remember that I'm still the princess of the alien demon tribe. I have to think for the sake of my millions of people. Qin Haodong asked, I don't understand. You alien demons have your own space. Why do you have to invade our homeland? If that's not the case, I think we can still be friends even though the alien demons are ugly. Hua Mingrui sighed and said, sometimes, we can't control our own fate. Our hybrid demon clan comes from the hybrid demon space. However, the living environment there is getting worse and worse. It is becoming more and more unsuitable for us to live in. In order for our clansmen to survive and multiply, we can only find another place to live. All the powerful figures of the alien demon clan finally opened the space barrier and we were able to come to Earth. It's a pity that the creatures here are more powerful than we imagined. They resealed the space hole. Only a few scattered alien demons like us stayed here. Although Earth is not our favorite living environment, it can still allow us to survive. In order to save our clansmen, we can only seek to open the space barrier again and bring them to Earth. Qin Haodong frowned and said, "But this is our homeland. It doesn't belong to you at all. You are robbers." Princess Garo shook her head and said, "In our alien demon clan, the law of the jungle has always been the law of survival. There is no such thing as robbing. For example, the 4 great demon generals who just died. They were not as strong as you, so they were killed by you. This is the law of nature." Qin Haodong knew that it was meaningless to discuss this issue. If his side was not strong enough, Earth would be occupied by the alien demon clan. Qin Haodong asked, "It has been 5,000 years since the ancient war. In these 5,000 years, the human clan has not found any trace of you. Can you tell me where you people have been living?" Princess Garo smiled and said, "I know this is what you want to know the most. You have been searching our headquarters during this period of time, but you have found nothing. Since you want to know, I will tell you. Tell me, where is the most important place for our clansmen?" Qin Haodong's expression changed. "The location of the space hole?" Princess Garo said, "Yes, there is no place more important to us alien demons than there, so my clansmen have been living there. On the one hand, we guard the location of the space seal, and on the other hand, we can absorb the devil chi that seeps through the hole to help our clansmen cultivate. It's a pity that the devil chi that we can understand is getting less and less. This is also an important reason why there is a lack of masters in our clan." Qin Haodong asked, "This is also the question I want to ask the most now. Where is the space hole that connects the alien demon space to here?" Princess Garo said, "Have you heard of the Bermuda Triangle?" "Of course I have. It is an area unknown to humans, full of all kinds of strange things." Princess Garo said, "The reason why it is strange, the reason why it is full of changes, and the reason why it is full of all kinds of energy is because of the space hole. Although your clansmen sealed the space hole in the past, there were still basic energy fluctuations, so there were all kinds of abnormal situations. Originally, we were worried that the space hole would be discovered by your human clan, but later you actually set it as a forbidden area. Fewer and fewer people went there, which made us feel relieved. So for thousands of years, our clansmen have been living quietly on a small island in Bermuda. We named it Alien Demon Island." Hearing this news, Qin Haodong was excited. No wonder the intelligence network of the Dark Net and the Shenyuan Pavilion could not find where the alien demons were. It turned out that they were hiding in the inaccessible Bermuda Triangle. Naturally, no one would know there. Princess Garo reached under the tea table and took out a shiny dagger. She threw it in front of Qin Haodong and said, "Do you have any other questions? If not, do it yourself. I really don't want to kill you." Qin Haodong took the dagger and looked at it. He said, "One last question. How are you alien demons going to open the space seal? When are you going to do it?" "I don't know when. I'm afraid no one knows except my father. The method is to use the secret method of the alien demons to collect the power of millions of ghosts at once to break the space seal." Princess Garo said, "I've answered all your questions. Let's go." Qin Haodong held the dagger in his hand, played with it, and slammed it on the tea table in front of Princess Garo. "As you said, I don't have the heart to do it to you. Solve it yourself." Princess Garo's expression changed. "What do you mean? Do you still want to resist after being poisoned by my soul-numbing powder?" Qin Haodong said lightly, "If I was poisoned by the soul-numbing powder, I would have no ability to resist. It's a pity that I didn't drink it." Princess Garo cried, "That's impossible. I saw you drink it with my own eyes." She did see Qin Haodong drink the cup of tea with her own eyes, so she dared to tell these secrets. Qin Haodong said with a smile, "It seems that you alien demons don't know much about the human race. Have you heard of a magic called illusion? I just used a little trick to deceive your eyes. In fact, I could tell from the fragrance of the tea that there was something in it. Otherwise, do you think I'm called the medical sage for nothing? Princess Garo exclaimed, how dare you lie to me? Qin Haodong said, I have no choice. As you said just now, I have to do this for my people. Otherwise, I really can't dig out the alien demons. Princess Garo said with a murderous look, do you think I can't kill you if you don't drink the soul-numbing powder? I just don't want to do it myself. After saying that, she suddenly stood up and the momentum of her whole body suddenly rose. The power exuded from her body was much stronger than that of the 4 great devil generals she had seen before. Qin Haodong still looked calm. You are indeed the royal family of the alien demons. You are really powerful. Princess Garo said, Qin Haodong, you really shouldn't have forced me to do it. As she spoke, she stretched out her white and tender hands and black qi popped out from between her fingers like threads as thin as hair. Qin Haodong's expression changed slightly. It could be seen that Princess Garo's attainments were very high to be able to control the devil qi to such an extent. Go to hell. Princess Garo shouted in a low voice and flicked her fingers. The black threads shot towards Qin Haodong like sharp arrows from a bowstring. Qin Haodong gently bounced his feet and leaped more than 10 meters into the air, dodging the attack. The black threads shot past and the mahogany tea table, which had been intact just a moment ago, was instantly pierced into pieces and flew everywhere. Do you think you can run away like this? Princess Garo also leaped into the air and flicked her fingers continuously. The dense silk threads once again entangled Qin Haodong. Qin Haodong did not dare to be careless at all. He had just seen the power of the devil qi, which was even sharper than a sword. He ran his genuine qi and leaped more than 10 meters higher. A golden light flashed in his hand and the Xian Yuan sword appeared. He slashed down from above towards Princess Garo. You've been fooled. Princess Garo's eyes were full of murderous intent. She flicked her fingers and the black devil qi was dozens of times denser than before. In a moment, it covered an area of 10 meters and formed a dense devil qi net. Under my total darkness, let's see where you can run this time. Princess Garo let out a burst of proud laughter. The dense devil qi had completely surrounded Qin Haodong and there was no way to escape. Why should I run? With a soft shout, the golden light in the demonic qi net suddenly soared, and the Xianyuan sword, with an indomitable momentum, instantly broke through Princess Garo's total darkness, and fiercely slashed towards her chest. Divine Realm. You've actually broken through to the Divine Realm? Princess Garo turned pale with fright. She had never expected Qin Haodong to grow so fast. He had actually broken through to the Divine Realm in just a few days. All of this was beyond her expectations. She hurriedly mobilized all the devil qi and condensed it into a black qi sword. She faced the Xian Yuan sword head-on. Chapter 857. However, Princess Garo not only underestimated Qin Haodong's cultivation, but also underestimated the power of the Xian Yuan sword. This kind of ancient magic weapon was not comparable to the devil qi sword in her hand at all. The Xian Yuan sword destroyed the devil qi sword in an instant, and the huge golden blade suddenly stabbed into Princess Garo's chest. After a short moment of astonishment, Princess Garo's face flashed with a relaxed look. She smiled sweetly and said, I'm finally free. This abnormal behavior surprised Qin Haodong. Princess Garo continued, to be honest, I have fallen in love with this world and human beings. I even fantasized countless times that I could become one of them. But for the sake of my people, I have to be enemies with human beings. This kind of contradictory psychology tortures me every day and I can't sleep. Now I'm finally free. Qin Haodong felt an inexplicable pity for her when he saw that she had a relaxed smile instead of a painful expression with a sword in her chest. Princess Garo continued, to be honest, you have always been my best friend in my heart. Can you promise me one last request? Qin Haodong said, tell me. As long as you don't betray the human clan, I can promise you anything. It's not that serious. Princess Garo smiled sweetly and said, I have been replacing Hua Mingrui for 3 years. Now I love this identity so much that I can't extricate myself. I want to be a human being and have my own feelings. I want to fall in love with someone. It's a pity that this wish can't be realized in this life. My request is that you can bury me with my current appearance, so that I can keep my most beautiful appearance after death. Qin Haodong sighed secretly. It seemed that both the human clan and the alien demon clan loved to be beautiful. Naturally, he would not refuse this kind of request. He nodded and said, I promise you. Thank you. Princess Garo said, during the days when you were away, I knew that the day of the final battle was coming, so I took a lot of photos of myself. Before I came out, I chose the most beautiful one and put it on the desk in the tea house. I hope you can use it as the photo on my tombstone. Don't use my name, Princess Garo. I don't want to have anything to do with the alien demon clan. Just call me Hua Mingrui. Qin Haodong said, I can also promise you that. Princess Garo smiled again. Just like she said, she wanted to leave her most beautiful face in this world. Send me on my way. I hope your King Yen Luo of Huaxia doesn't mind my identity as an alien demon. Let me be reincarnated and become a Huaxia citizen in the future. Rest in peace. Qin Haodong turned his head and spat out his green with genuine qi, instantly shattering Princess Jia Luo's heart and ending her life. Even when she became a corpse, Princess Garo still had an indifferent smile on her face. She looked like she was sleeping soundly and not dead. Qin Haodong sighed and took her body back to the Tang sect. First, he found Wei Yanran and briefly explained the situation. After that, he left the burial to Wei Yanran. Wei Yanran was shocked and sad. She had never expected that her best friend was the princess of the alien demon tribe. At the same time, she shed tears for losing her best friend. Death was like a lamp going out. The past was the past. What she needed to do now was to bury her according to Hua Mingrui's last words. Qin Haodong gathered Xianyuan Legay, Shi Yumi, Qin Zongheng and others in the Tang sect. He immediately held an emergency meeting and disclosed the information obtained from Princess Garo to everyone. Everyone was excited when they heard that there was finally news about the alien demons. Hu Shaoxian said, anyway, Princess Garo is an alien demon after all. How true is her words? Is she lying to us? I've also thought about that. Qin Haodong had also thought about this. Although he had been poisoned by the soul-numbing powder at that time, no one knew whether Princess Garo was telling the truth or not. He could not be 100% sure now. He said, I've already thought about it. I'll go to the Bermuda Triangle now and check if the nest of the alien demons is there. Everyone will wait for my news in the capital and be ready to fight against the alien demons at any time. Feng Wu said, isn't it too dangerous for you to go alone? Why don't I go with you? Qin Zongheng was also worried about his son's safety. He said, that's right. I'll go with you. Everyone was afraid that Qin Haodong would be in danger, so they all said that they would go with him to Bermuda. Qin Haodong waved his hand and said, don't worry, everyone. I have my own means to save my life. Even if the alien demon emperor comes in person, he won't be able to hurt me. This is just to inquire about the information, not to fight. If too many people go, it will be easy to be exposed. It's best for me to go alone. Seeing that he insisted, the others could not say anything more. They could only repeatedly tell him to be careful. After the discussion, Qin Haodong returned to his room and made a few more invisibility talismans. After his cultivation reached the god transformation stage, the talismans he made were not only more stealthy, but also could last for half an hour. After getting ready, he stepped on the flying sword and rushed to Bermuda like a meteor. The Bermuda Triangle was located in the southeast of the Florida peninsula of M country. It was densely covered with islands and was one of the most mysterious places on Earth. There were all kinds of legends about it. Some said that it was the territory of aliens and that there were often flying saucers. Some said that they would see all kinds of monsters here. Whether the legends were true or not, countless ships and planes had mysteriously disappeared here for hundreds of years. Over the centuries, countless exploration teams had gone here and never returned. In the past, no one knew why, but now Qin Haodong had found the reason. It would be strange if the alien demons would come here to explore. When night fell, he came here on the flying sword. Although he had not officially entered Bermuda, he had faintly felt the fluctuation of spiritual power produced by a large formation. This should be the formation that sealed the space loophole. No matter where the nest of the alien demons was, the space loophole must be here. For safety's sake, he first activated an invisibility talisman and then slowly flew into Bermuda. He was not in a hurry to find the traces of the alien demons. Instead, he flew straight to the space loophole along the direction of the spiritual power fluctuation. To his surprise, the position of the space loophole was not too high. It was only about 100 meters from the sea. It seemed that the alien demons opened this space loophole randomly and did not know where it led. Before he came to the loophole, he was blocked by an invisible force. This was the power of the formation seal. Qin Haodong circled in front of the loophole and kept scanning the formation with his spirit. He had to admire the power of the ancient powerful people. With his current cultivation, he could also seal this space loophole, but he could not do it to this extent. It had been 5,000 years, but the energy of the seal did not seem to have weakened much. No wonder the alien demons had to collect millions of ghosts to open the seal here. After checking it out, he felt much more at ease. Such a powerful seal couldn't be broken by just anyone. Then, under the cover of the night, he slowly flew down and began to search in the Bermuda Triangle. The alien demons were guarding this space loophole and also needed to absorb the devil chi that leaked out of the seal. Naturally, they would not be too far away. About 10 minutes later, he saw a faint light coming from a small island in the fog. This should be the hybrid demon island that Princess Garo mentioned. He slowly approached the small island and discovered that the security here was incomparably tight. There were constant flashes of searchlights, and occasionally, there were some surveillance drones flying over. It could be seen that the alien demons had completely mastered the advanced technology of human beings. Qin Haodong scanned with his spirit. He avoided one defense after another and slowly sneaked into the alien demons' island. The alien demons' island was about 10 square kilometers. After arriving on the island, he found that it was full of modern atmosphere. There were modern high-rise buildings and pavilions. There was also a huge leisure square in the middle of the island. If he did not know better, he would really think that he had come to a tourist attraction. From time to time, there were some low-level alien demons patrolling around the island. These people looked similar to the transformed demon generals. They were more than 2 meters tall and had horns on their heads. Their bodies were covered in black fur, and they looked like bull demon kings. Seeing these people, Qin Haodong was sure that this was the nest of the alien demons' island. It seemed that Princess Garo did not lie to him. He slowly approached the center of the island. When he arrived in front of a 3-story villa, a strong aura was emitted. He could feel that this was the residence of the alien demon emperor. Qin Haodong used an invisibility talisman again and slowly approached the villa. He was even more careful than before. Looking into the villa through the window, he saw a middle-aged man around 50 years old sitting on a comfortable leather sofa. This man was wearing a well-ironed suit and his hair was neatly combed. If it was not for the strong devil chi that was constantly emitting from his body, one would really think that he was a successful person in the human society. This man's cultivation had already reached the late stage of the divine state. He was the strongest person on the alien demon island. It was obvious that he was the alien demon emperor. Perhaps like Princess Garo, he preferred to look like a human. Therefore, he did not reveal his true identity as an alien demon. The alien demon emperor seemed to be a little anxious. He stood up from the sofa and paced back and forth in the room. He frowned as if he was thinking about something difficult. Qin Haodong wanted to obtain more information. He was not in a hurry to leave. He continued to secretly ask around outside the room. After a while, the alien demon emperor stopped in his tracks. He raised his hand and grabbed the phone on the table. After dialing a string of numbers, the big screen opposite him lit up and the image of a middle-aged man around 50 years old appeared. King Jianan, how is it? Do you have any news about that girl Garo? The middle-aged man on the screen shook his head and said, not yet. We have already agreed that she will call me as soon as she kills that kid with the surname Qin. However, after so long, there is still no news. The alien demon emperor frowned and said, I have a bad feeling. It is very likely that something has happened to Princess Garo. King Jianan said, how is that possible? Princess Garo is the most outstanding royal member of the alien demon tribe. Her cultivation is comparable to that of a divine state cultivator of the human race. That kid with the surname Qin is only at the early stage of the divine state. No matter how you think about it, Princess Garo will be fine. The alien demon emperor said, haven't you realized that we have been underestimating Qin Haodong from the beginning? He may have a trump card that we cannot imagine. King Jianan said disapprovingly, brother, don't worry. In the words of the human race, in the face of absolute power, everything is fleeting. As far as I know, there is no divine state cultivator in the human race. It is impossible for them to pose a threat to Princess Garo. The alien demon emperor thought for a while and said, no, we cannot wait any longer. Whether that kid with the surname Qin is dead or alive, we must activate our plan. Otherwise, it will be too late. Chapter 858. King Jinan said, everything is up to you. I'm ready. In the middle of the night the day after tomorrow, we will open the space seal sealing the alien demon world. At that time, thousands of alien demon tribe troops will pass through the passage and descend on Earth. After preparing for so many years, we are finally going to succeed. Just thinking about it makes me excited. The alien demon emperor said excitedly, at that time, we will be the masters of this land and we won't have to stay on this island anymore. There will be no human beings in this world and it will belong to us. King Jinan was also very excited. Brother, what do you think we should do now? The alien demon emperor said, take your men to the north of Huaxia now. Tomorrow night, bring the virus bomb to the top of Mount Tai and detonate it. This virus bomb was specially developed in our laboratory. As long as it can be successfully spread, we will harvest millions of ghosts. Use the ghost bottle to collect these souls. At midnight the day after tomorrow, when the Yin Qi is the strongest, we will use these ghosts to break the seal left by those Huaxia people. We will open the passage in one fell swoop and lead our people to come. King Jinan said, brother, I still don't understand. We can also get millions of ghosts in the west. Why do we have to go to Huaxia? A fierce look flashed across the alien demon emperor's face. These damn seals were made by the ancestors of the Huaxia people. Today, I will make their descendants pay the price. Got it, brother. I'll do as you say. After that, King Jinan disappeared from the big screen and the video call was turned off. A cold look flashed across Qin Haodong's face. They actually wanted to carry out a massacre in Huaxia. He could not let them succeed no matter what. After getting this important information, he immediately returned to Huaxia on his flying sword and returned to the Tang sect when the sun rose in the east. After returning, he once again urgently summoned Shi Yumi, Xianyuan Ligay, and the others to the Tang sect and told them that the alien demons were about to take action in Huaxia. The Zihang Sword House had shouldered the responsibility of protecting Huaxia for thousands of years. When Xianyuan Ligay heard the news, she immediately stood up and said, the Xianyuan Pavilion will take action immediately. We must eliminate these alien demons. Shi Yumi said, although the Devil Gate is not the Xianyuan Pavilion, it is also a member of the human clan. We are willing to participate in the battle together. Qin Haodong said, I have seen how powerful the Yimo Emperor is. His cultivation is comparable to a late god state expert. The Canaan king was his younger brother, and he also had a large number of experts by his side. This battle would not be easy. The Xianyuan Pavilion is now responsible for searching for information about those people. After the information is confirmed, we will fight against the alien demon together. Once we get rid of the alien demons in Huaxia, we'll head to the alien demon island in Bermuda and destroy the nest of the alien demons in one fell swoop. After Qin Haodong made the decision, Xianyuan Ligay immediately went to assign tasks, while Qin Haodong began to gather all the forces that could be used. This time, when the alien demons invaded China, they only knew that the Canaan king was leading them. They did not know how many experts they had brought with them, so they had to go all out in this battle. A few hours later, the Tang's sect began to become lively. First, Li Jiumei, the holy virgin from the Hmong village in Shaanxi, came with the masters of the Jiuli tribe. Then, Cathaway led the 4 holy knights and the 8 cardinals into the east. Korkina and Lo also rushed over with the masters of the blood kindred. The two sides had been fighting for thousands of years, but this time they stood side by side. The 7 great families in the capital also made a general mobilization before the war. They gathered all the masters at the level 9 of Supreme Power Realm. Qin Zongheng was in charge of forming a team to participate in the battle against the alien demons. Looking at the people gathered in the yard, Qin Haodong was extremely satisfied. After preparing for so long, he finally had his own forces and could fight against the alien demons. It was already early winter in the Mount Tai scenic area of Huaxia, which was the off-season of tourism. The number of tourists going to the top of Mount Tai was not as dense as it was in summer. Especially at night, there were very few people climbing at night. As the sun set and the sky grew darker, a tourist group of 30 or 40 people appeared at the foot of Mount Tai. Under the guidance of a tour guide, they slowly climbed to the top of the mountain. The leader was a middle-aged man in his 50s. He was wearing a jacket and a baseball cap. Although it was almost evening, he still wore a pair of big sunglasses, which made him look cool. Next to him was a middle-aged man in his 40s. He seemed to be a little younger than him. His clothes were exactly the same and he was carrying a big backpack on his back. No one knew what was in it. The people behind them were old and young, fat and thin, but they were all carrying big backpacks on their backs. Mount Tai was not the highest mountain in Huaxia, but the mountain road was still relatively steep. Generally speaking, it was extremely difficult for tourists to climb up. However, although these people were carrying heavy loads, they walked very briskly. They were even much faster than the tour guides who led groups to climb Mount Tai all year round. It would take an average person 4 or 5 hours to climb Mount Tai at night, but it only took these people more than 2 hours to reach the Jade Emperor Peak. The tour guide was already so tired that he was out of breath. The middle-aged man said, "Sir, the hotel we booked is not far ahead." The middle-aged man nodded and said in a stiff tone, "Thank you." The tour guide was about to say something polite, but suddenly the young tourist behind him chopped his neck with a knife and knocked him out. The middle-aged man said, "Find a hidden place to hide her. Don't let her affect our plan." The young tourist nodded, picked up the tour guide like a chick, and threw her into the bushes next to him. After that, the middle-aged man led the way. The group left the Jade Emperor Peak and headed for another mountain next to it. Under the cover of the night, they were like ghosts, and their speed was many times faster than before. The Jade Emperor Peak was known as the highest peak of Mount Tai, and the mountains next to it were not inferior to it at all. It was just that they had not been developed for tourism. The group of people were obviously experts. They walked on the cliffs as if they were walking on flat ground. Soon, they arrived at the peak next to them. When they reached the peak, the middle-aged man took off his sunglasses and baseball cap and threw them down. It was King Jinan, who was talking to the alien demon emperor. The middle-aged man standing next to him was his younger brother, King Jebe. The two of them were in charge of this operation in Huaxia. King Jinan ordered his subordinates next to him, "You guys spread out and guard the peak. Don't let anyone get close." King Jebe said, "Second brother, aren't we being too careful? We came so secretly this time. I don't think the people of Huaxia have received any news. There's no need to be so nervous. King Jinan said, this matter is very important. We can't take it lightly. Also, don't underestimate Huaxia. We haven't received any news about Princess Garo yet. Something must have happened there. She has reached the early stage of the divine realm. She was able to defeat the royal family of the alien demon tribe without making a sound. There must be more experts on the other side. King Jebe said, even if there are a few experts in the human race, they must have been restrained by Princess Garo in the capital. No one would have thought that we would come to the top of Mount Tai in Huaxia. King Jinan said, don't talk so much. I'm going to detonate the virus bomb immediately. Get the ghost bottle ready and collect the ghosts. After that, he began to gather everyone and opened the backpack behind him. It was filled with the parts of the disassembled launcher. About half an hour later, a simple launcher was reassembled. King Jinan opened his backpack and took out a glass bottle filled with purple-red liquid. King Jebe asked, second brother, will this thing work? King Jinan said, this is the latest virus developed by our secret base. As long as someone is infected by it, they will die within half an hour. No matter how good Qin Haodong's medical skills are, he won't have time to treat them. What we need to do now is to spray it into the air through the launcher. This virus will spread with the wind and it comes into contact with the air. Soon, the entire northern part of Huaxia will be infected. At that time, we will get the millions of ghosts we want. King Jebe said excitedly, then what are we waiting for? Let's get started. King Jinan nodded and put the glass bottle into the launcher. After everything was ready, he took out a remote control and pressed the red button on it. At this time, all the alien demons' eyes flashed with anticipation. For many years, they had been looking forward to opening the space channel and bringing their people to this beautiful world. But just when they thought that they were infinitely close to their dream, they were surprised to find that the launcher had disappeared along with the virus solution. What's going on? Where's the thing? King Jinan turned pale with fright. He did not understand why the launcher had suddenly disappeared into thin air. At this moment, a cold voice sounded above their heads. You alien demons want to invade the homeland of our human clan? You're daydreaming. Someone had actually silently appeared above them without being discovered. King Jianan and the others turned pale with fright as they raised their heads to look above them. Qin Haodong floated down from the air. He had just put away the launcher with his storage ring and finally breathed a long sigh of relief. If the virus was spread, no matter how good his medical skills were, he would not be able to cure millions of infected people. King Jinan said angrily, Qin Haodong, it's you. How dare you ruin our plan? Qin Haodong smiled at him and said, not only me, but also many people. Today, none of you alien demons will escape. As soon as he finished speaking, there were shouts all around. In the night sky, countless masters of the Saint Realm were galloping over. The 9th-level masters of the Supreme Power Realm who could not fly came up from the foot of the mountain at an astonishing speed. In the blink of an eye, they surrounded the dozens of alien demons. Cathaway, Lei Fu, Korkina, Qin Zongheng, Shi Yumi, and Xianyuan Ligay, who had reached the divine realm, surrounded King Jinan and King Jianbei. Seeing that he had been surrounded, King Jinan's eyes turned bloodshot. You lowly humans don't deserve to occupy this land. Go to hell. After that, he roared and revealed his true form. He was more than 3 meters tall and his body was frighteningly large. He waved a 2-meter-long broadsword and slashed at Qin Haodong. Although this guy's cultivation was not as good as that of the alien demon emperor, he had already reached the middle stage of the divine realm. The long broadsword in his hand made a sharp sound as if it was about to tear the space apart. For book friend, Fat Cat Rolling Around. Update. Chapter 859. Qin Zongheng was afraid that his son would be at a disadvantage, so he waved the long sword in his hand to meet the attack. There were no rules in the battle against the alien demons. Xianyuan Ligay stabbed King Canaan's neck with her sword, while the red silk thread in Shiyumi's hand wrapped around King Canaan's legs like a snake. Korkina flew up into the air and grabbed the back of King Canaan's neck with her sharp claws. 4 God State Masters attacked at the same time. If it were anyone else, they would definitely die on the spot, but King Canaan had reached the God State middle stage and was far superior to ordinary masters. He let out a deafening roar and his long saber collided with Qin Zongheng's long sword. The huge force immediately sent Qin Zongheng flying dozens of meters away. King Canaan turned back and swung his long saber. With his powerful body, he sent the other 3 flying. This guy didn't have any skills to speak of. He was just fighting on instinct. But the hybrid demon royalty's body was really strong. Even though Korkina's claws had reached his neck, she couldn't do any damage. On the other side, King Canaan, King Lei Fu, and the others were also fighting. It was rare for the Divine Emperor and the Wolf Emperor to join forces against the enemy. Catherine's whole body was shrouded in holy light. The great prophecy skill restrained King Canaan's speed, and Lei Fu launched a fierce attack on him. Unfortunately, King Canaan's body was also extremely strong. For a moment, they were in a stalemate, and no one could do anything to the other. At the same time, the others were also fighting against each other. After thousands of years, the human clan and the alien demons started a war again. In order to learn about the alien demons as much as possible, Qin Haodong stood aside and watched the battle. After more than 10 minutes, he had almost understood the situation. The human clan had the advantage in numbers, but their individual strength was relatively weak. The 2 sides were fighting in a tangled battle, and their strength was equal. He couldn't help rejoicing in his heart. Fortunately, the alien demons had taken the risk to go deep into Huaxia. If they really brought people to the alien demons' island to fight against all the elites of the alien demons, they would have to pay a heavy price even if they could destroy the alien demons. The people present were either his women or his relatives and friends. Naturally, he didn't want this to happen. If this went on, there would be casualties. A golden light flashed in his hand, and the Xianyuan sword appeared in his palm. With his strong defensive ability, King Jinan was in high spirits. After sending Shi Yumi flying with a blow, he raised his huge foot and kicked at Xianyuan Ligay. However, before his foot could touch Xianyuan Ligay's sword, he suddenly felt a sharp pain. His big foot was cut off and flew out of his body. Although the bodies of the alien demons were tough, it did not mean that they did not feel pain. After his calf was cut off by the Xianyuan sword, the Canaan king let out a blood-curdling scream. His scream was deafening. "Humans, I'll fight you to the death." The Jianan king, whose leg had been cut off, was like a wounded lion. The long saber in his hand was like a bolt of lightning streaking across the sky as it ruthlessly chopped down at Qin Zongheng. His strength was much stronger than Qin Zongheng's. When he attacked with all his might, his speed was frighteningly fast. For a moment, Qin Zongheng had no room to dodge. In a hurry, he could only raise the long sword in his hand to block. Of course, Qin Haodong would not give the Jianan king a chance to struggle. The Xianyuan sword in his hand shone with golden light again. In an instant, it pierced through the Jianan king's solid chest, causing a mist of blood to spurt out. Although the alien demons were strong, their hearts were also fatal. After his heart was pierced, the Jianan king did not even have time to scream. The long saber fell to the ground, and then his huge body fell off the cliff with a plop. Second brother. The Jia Bei king punched Lei Fu away and pounced on Qin Haodong with a roar. But before he could take a few steps, the Xianyuan sword had already pierced his throat. The top-grade spirit stones brought back from the divine court last time were not used in vain. They allowed Qin Haodong to step into the late stage of the god transformation realm. He was far from the early stage of the saint realm that the alien demon emperor had guessed. After the death of 2 experts at the middle stage of the god state, the remaining alien demons had lost their leader and were completely in a mess. The human clan naturally would not be soft-hearted. Under the leadership of Qin Haodong, dozens of alien demons were killed in 10 minutes, leaving no one alive. Things had gone very smoothly. Not only had they stopped the virus bomb, but they had also eliminated all the alien demons who had invaded Huaxia. But for some reason, Qin Haodong had a very uneasy feeling in his heart, as if something important was about to happen. He took out the transmitter from the storage ring and held the purple-red liquid in his hand. He scanned it with his spirit but did not find any virus. He sniffed it again, and his expression suddenly changed. This was not a virus liquid at all, but just ordinary potassium permanganate solution. Shiyumi came over and asked, "What's wrong? Is there anything wrong?" Qin Haodong said with a solemn expression, "This is not a virus liquid at all. We've been fooled. This is a scam." "Fooled?" Shiyumi said in surprise, "How is that possible? They lost so many alien demons at once, including 2 high-level members of the royal family. How could they have been fooled? How could the alien demons pay such a high price to make a scam? The higher the price, the more important it is for them to do." While Qin Haodong was talking, his cell phone suddenly rang in his pocket. It was already late at night, and his subordinates were all around him. Who would call him? He quickly took out his cell phone and saw that it was Donnie Randall. As soon as the phone was connected, he heard the other side say in a hurry, "Haodong, something's wrong. There's a big movement in the Bermuda Triangle." Qin Haodong asked, "Don't worry. What's going on? Tell me slowly." Donnie Randall said very quickly, "Since you asked me to pay attention to the movement in Bermuda, I immediately sent dozens of drones to investigate. It was calm before, but just now there was a big movement there, and then all my drones were destroyed by an unknown force. I guess something big must have happened." The alien demons island. Qin Haodong was stunned for a moment, but he immediately understood and shouted, "Oh no, we've been fooled." Xianyuan Ligay asked, "Sacred Master, what's going on?" Qin Haodong said, "This time, it's a trap from the beginning to the end. The so-called millions of ghosts are just a smoke bomb released by the alien demon emperor. He used King Jianan and the others to attract all our forces to Mount Tai, and the alien demons island has already begun to attack the seal of the space hole." At this time, he had an epiphany. Princess Garo had set him up for the sake of her people before she died. All the information she said was true, but this sentence was false. The so-called millions of ghosts were simply a lie. The purpose was to divert his attention. Xianyuan Ligay said eagerly, "What should we do now?" Qin Haodong said, "Those below the divine realm, go back to the capital immediately and wait for orders. Those above the divine realm, fly to Bermuda with me. I hope we can make it." Although the saints also had the ability to fly, they were more than 10,000 miles away from Bermuda. With the cultivation of the saints, they would not be able to fight if they flew there. It was useless to go there, so he only brought the masters at the divine realm. "You guys follow me. I'll go first." In terms of cultivation level, Qin Haodong had reached the late stage of God transformation, which was much higher than other God realm masters. At the same time, he was also a cultivator, so his flying speed was much faster than Qin Zongheng and the others. After saying that, he stepped on the flying sword and flew quickly to the west. At this time, on the unique Devil Island, a tall altar was set up in the middle of the square. There were 10 spears around the altar that were 3 feet tall. It was unknown what material these spears were made of, but the surface of each spear was densely packed with ghosts. They kept howling, which made people's hair stand on end. An alien demon in a priest's robe stood on the altar with the alien demon emperor. He was the high priest of the alien demon tribe. At this time, the alien demon emperor had already transformed into his original form, but the excitement on his face could still be seen. "High priest, are you ready?" "Lord Alien Demon Emperor, everything is ready. There are 10 ghost spears and each of them has gathered 1,000,000 ghosts." The alien demon emperor smiled proudly and said, "It's funny that those Huaxia people think that I really need to collect ghosts now. Those are just tricks to deceive them. These years of war have allowed us to collect enough ghosts. The only thing we need is today, the extreme Een period that only appears once every 1,000 years. The high priest said, Lord Alien Demon Emperor, the seal left by the Huaxia people is extremely strong. If we don't choose the extreme Een period, no matter how many ghost spears we have, we won't be able to break it. Therefore, this is a rare opportunity for us. If we miss it, we will have to wait another 1,000 years. The Alien Demon Emperor shouted, we can't wait any longer. Today, we must break the seal and let the millions of alien demons come to Earth. At that time, Earth will be our home. Qin Haodong, didn't you want to stop me? Aren't you very capable? When you face the alien demon tribe's army, I wonder what kind of expression you will have. After saying that, he and the high priest laughed wildly. It was as if they could already see the moment when the seal would be broken. After laughing enough, the high priest said, Lord Alien Demon Emperor, the time has come. Let's begin. After saying that, he left the altar and left the Alien Demon Emperor alone. At that moment, it was already midnight. On the misty surface of the sea, it was almost completely covered by dense Een Qi. There was no Yang Qi at all. After waiting for thousands of years, this moment has finally arrived. After saying that, the Alien Demon Emperor stretched out his hand and pulled out a ghost spear. It was as if he could feel his own fate. The spirits on the spear kept rolling and wailing. Break for me. The Alien Demon Emperor jumped high into the air and went straight to the hole in the space. He threw the ghost spear in his hand. Rumble, a thunderous sound rang out. The ghost spear whistled through the air towards the seal. However, before it could reach the seal, it was blocked by an invisible force. After the two forces collided, the spirits on the ghost spear seemed to have lost control. They pounced towards the invisible force and finally disappeared in the air. The two forces fought for a long time before it slowly calmed down. The Alien Demon Emperor stood at the side and felt that the power of the seal had weakened. He immediately laughed. As expected of the millions of spirits. They are indeed powerful. Let's see how long your stupid seal can last. The Alien Demon Emperor laughed. He pulled out another ghost spear and threw it towards the seal. Chapter 860. The phantom spear grew thicker and thicker. Furthermore, there were millions of spirits attached to the spear. Every time one of them was thrown, he would have to pay a huge price. In the entire Yimo tribe, only the Yimo Emperor could throw the phantom spear. After throwing the 9 phantom spears, the Yimo Emperor's cultivation and stamina were greatly depleted. Large droplets of sweat appeared on his forehead and his breathing became heavier. Even so, the Yimo Emperor's face was still brimming with excitement. Under the attack of the 9 phantom spears, the seal on the spatial crack was already on the verge of breaking. It was about to be completely opened and the Yimo army would arrive. The Yimo tribe members surrounding the altar shouted excitedly. For this moment, they had worked hard for thousands of years and they were finally about to succeed. The Yimo Emperor stretched out his trembling hand and grabbed the last phantom spear. He was prepared to launch the final attack on the seal. Just at this moment, a golden ray of light streaked across the sky. It charged towards the altar in the middle of the unique Devil Island like a bolt of lightning. It was Qin Haodong who was rushing over. Qin Haodong, you have come. However, you are too late. There is no way you can stop me. Just you wait. Soon, you will tremble under the iron hooves of the Yimo army. Ha! 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 Just thinking about it makes me excited. After the Yimo Emperor laughed, he shouted to his subordinates, stop him. Anyone who stands in my way will die. As a demigod stage cultivator, Qin Haodong could feel how weak the seal was. The Yimo Emperor's attack would definitely break the seal and the consequences would be unimaginable. Anyone who stands in my way will die. After he shouted angrily, a murderous aura erupted from his body. Ever since he was reborn, he had never felt such a strong murderous aura. For the sake of his homeland and the survival of the entire human race, he could not show any mercy. After the golden light from the Xianyuan sword flashed, a dozen royal members of the Yimo tribe were turned into a rain of blood. Brat, no one can stop the Yimo army from coming. The last one standing in front of Qin Haodong was the high priest in a sacrificial robe. Go and die. Seeing that the Yimo emperor had completed his final preparations and raised the phantom spear in his hand, Qin Haodong's killing intent surged and he slashed the grand priest in half. After killing the high priest, the Xianyuan sword did not stop. It shot towards the Yimo emperor's chest. If the Yimo emperor wanted to live, he would have to dodge this sword. Qin Haodong, you're too late. You can't stop the great cause of the alien demons. Unexpectedly, the Yimo emperor, who had already descended into madness, completely ignored the Xianyuan sword that was flying towards him. Instead, he raised his hand and threw the phantom spear with all his might. Rumble, rumble, rumble. This time, when the phantom spear struck the seal, it actually caused a series of loud explosions. Following that, a huge wave of energy appeared in the surroundings, and the surrounding sea began to churn violently. Then, a 10-meter wide spatial hole appeared where the seal had just been. At the same time, the Xianyuan sword broke through the Yimo emperor's powerful defense and pierced his chest. I did it, I finally did it. Ignoring the pain in his chest, the Yimo emperor leapt up and down on the altar. Qin Haodong, so what if you kill me? In the end, the human race will still be destroyed. This land will belong to us, the alien demons. Hearing the Yimo emperor's shout, the low-level alien demons beside him also cheered. They had finally succeeded. They had once again opened the channel to summon their brethren. Qin Haodong's face was pale. In order to stop the alien demons, he had worked so hard for so long and had done so much. However, in the end, he had still failed. He had almost failed to stop the Yimo emperor. Following that, his body was filled with a monstrous killing intent. No matter what, for the human race, he had to fight the alien demons to the death even if he had to sacrifice his life. However, as time passed, the cheers of the surrounding alien demons became softer and softer. The chi of heaven and earth became more stable and everything gradually returned to normal. However, the alien demons' army did not appear. What is going on? Where are my people? Where are my alien demons' army? Why are they not here yet? After a few minutes, there were still no living beings coming through the loophole. The Yimo emperor, who had been extremely excited just a moment ago, suddenly became crazy. He had planned for so long and sacrificed so much to allow the alien demons to unify this world. However, it seemed that all his plans had failed. The low-level alien demons beside him seemed to have understood what had happened. Their cheers turned into wails and they beat their chests angrily. Qin Haodong was relieved, and a bright smile bloomed on his face. Yimo Emperor, the alien demons have defied the heavens. Now, you are finally being punished by the heavens. Qin Haodong, I will kill you. The Yimo Emperor's eyes were bloodshot as he pounced towards Qin Haodong. However, just as he leaped up, the Xianyuan sword emitted a golden light and instantly destroyed his heart. His tall body fell down with a thud and the huge impact caused the entire altar to collapse. Although there was a dramatic accident, Qin Haodong did not care so much. The Xianyuan sword in his hand brought forth rays of golden light and killed all the alien demons on the alien demon island. What he needed to do now was to get rid of all the evils. He couldn't leave any alien demon alive. He couldn't leave behind any hidden dangers like he did in the past. After killing all of the hybrid demons around the altar, he searched the entire hybrid demon island. Qin Haodong heaved a sigh of relief after making sure that there were no more alien demons left. He had finally gotten rid of the biggest threat to the human clan. Just now, when he was searching, he discovered that the bottom of the hybrid devil island had been completely hollowed out and transformed into an underground warehouse. Half of the warehouse was stocked with a large amount of food, daily necessities, and even a large amount of alcohol. It seemed that the alien demons also liked to drink. The other half of the warehouse was a huge arsenal, containing everything from pistols to grenades. Lint heavy machinery guns, rockets, cannons and other large-scale weapons were available. Since the alien demon no longer existed, it would be a waste to leave these things here. Qin Haodong moved the entire warehouse into the storage ring. He found that his storage ring was by no means an ordinary one. As his cultivation improved, the space inside became larger and larger. After entering the divine transformation realm, the space inside was dozens of square kilometers. The entire warehouse could only occupy a corner. When he finished all this, there was a burst of air-rending sounds. Qin Zongheng, Shi Yumi, Xinyuan Ligay, and the others arrived at the hybrid Devil Island. Seeing the corpses of the alien demons all over the ground, Qin Zongheng was stunned at first. Then he asked warily, "Son, are you okay?" Qin Haodong said, "I'm fine." Shi Yumi asked, "Where's the alien demon emperor?" Qin Haodong pointed to the altar and said, "He's over there. I've already killed him. Fortunately, you came in time. Otherwise, if a space hole was really opened, the entire Earth would be finished." As she spoke, Shi Yumi patted her ample chest with a look of relief on her face. Qin Haodong said, "You're wrong. I'm still a little late. Although I killed the alien demon emperor, he still opened a space hole." "What? A space hole was opened? Where is it? Did the army of the alien demons come?" As soon as he said that, they immediately became nervous again. They all clenched their weapons in their hands, ready to fight at any time. "Don't be afraid. Things seem to be different from what we thought and what the alien demons thought." Qin Haodong raised his hand and pointed to the space hole in the air and said, "Look, the hole is right there, but no creature came over." Xianyuan Ligay said in surprise, "How is that possible? Since the hole has been opened, the alien demons over there should have swarmed over, right?" Qin Haodong shook his head and said, "I thought so too, but it didn't happen. Now it seems that something must have happened in the alien demon world." As they spoke, they all rose into the air and came to the side of the space hole. They looked inside together. The space hole was about 10 square meters in diameter, but it was dark inside, as if it could even swallow the light. They couldn't see anything. Xianyuan Ligay asked, "Is it possible that this is not the passage to the alien demon world?" Qin Haodong said, "It's impossible. It's extremely difficult to open the space barrier between two worlds. Only masters who have reached the tribulation stage and several people can do it. There should be only one hole in our space that connects to other spaces. Moreover, the alien demons have been guarding here for thousands of years. It's impossible for them to find the wrong place. This should be the passage to the alien demon world." Shi Yumi asked, "But why didn't the alien demons come?" Qin Haodong said, "I don't know. In short, it's a surprise that the army of the alien demons didn't come." A touch of curiosity flashed across Qin Zongheng's face. "How about I go over and have a look?" "Absolutely not." Qin Haodong quickly grabbed his father and said, "Although the space hole has been opened, it's not as simple as the tunnel of our human clan. It's full of all kinds of space power. If you want to pass through the passage, you can't do it without a strong enough body." Qin Zongheng said, "Then forget it. I wanted to go over and see what happened. Let me do it. My body is strong enough. There's no problem passing through the passage." Qin Haodong cultivated the evergreen wood longevity body. In terms of physical strength, he was not inferior to the alien demon emperor at all. Qin Zongheng quickly said, "No way. If something happens to you, your mother will kill me." Qin Haodong said, "That's impossible. In terms of cultivation, I'm already at the last stage of the God transformation realm, which is higher than any of you. Moreover, my body is strong enough to pass through the space hole." Qin Zongheng said, "That's not possible. Since the alien demons didn't come, let's forget about it. Why do we have to go there and ask for trouble? It's not asking for trouble. Qin Haodong said, although the army of the alien demons hasn't appeared yet, if we leave, who knows when they will come through here. I'll go and find out the specific situation, so that we can make a specific defense. This is a matter of life and death for the entire human clan. We can't be careless. Well, Qin Haodong's words were reasonable. Qin Zongheng wanted to stop him, but he couldn't find a suitable reason. Xianyuan Ligay said, Sacred Master, why don't I go with you? No need. I've already said that your physical strength is not strong enough. The reason why the alien demons can pass through is because of their strong physical strength. Moreover, only high-level alien demons can come. With your cultivation, you will be twisted into pieces before you can pass through the passage. Seeing that his son had made up his mind, Qin Zongheng could only say, since you're going, you must be careful and come back as soon as possible. I know, father. After making the arrangements, Qin Haodong jumped into the space hole. I'm going to enter the fantasy part of this book right away. Everyone said that the last book, The Mysterious Doctor in the City, had a bad ending. This book will strive to give everyone a happy ending. Chapter 861. After jumping into the hole, Qin Haodong immediately ran his green with genuine qi to protect his body. However, there were countless space undercurrents in the hole. Some were strong, some were weak. The weaker ones could be blocked, but the stronger ones instantly broke through the genuine qi and ravaged his body. Fortunately, Qin Haodong's green with longevity body was extremely strong. Although he felt a burst of tingling, it did not cause much harm. The hole was not too long. After only a few seconds, he felt the space around him lighten. The surging undercurrents around him disappeared and he came to another space. Because he did not know what unknown dangers there were in this space, Qin Haodong immediately became nervous after passing through the hole. The Xianyuan sword turned into a golden light to protect his body. But then he found that there was no alien demon here. There was not even a shadow of a human. Only the whistling mountain wind blew past him. After relaxing, he began to look around again. He was on a high mountain, surrounded by towering mountains and dense jungles. What a rich spiritual qi. In just a moment, he felt the difference between this place and the earth. The spiritual qi here was so rich, more than 1,000 times richer than on the earth. As a cultivator, he seemed to feel that his nascent soul was cheering. A large amount of spiritual qi was absorbed into his body with every breath, nourishing the nascent soul. Good place, it's really a good place. Qin Haodong secretly sighed. The spiritual qi here was not inferior to that in the cultivation world. If he cultivated here for a few hundred years, he would definitely be able to reach the tribulation stage and face the 9th heaven thunder tribulation again. Since there was no danger, he stepped on the flying sword and explored this new world. He had reached the late stage of soul transformation. The speed of flying on the sword was extremely fast. After a while, he had already reached 100 miles away. What a beautiful place. Qin Haodong was almost fascinated by this place. The mountains were beautiful, the scenery was infinite, and the spiritual qi was so rich that it made people crazy. This was simply a paradise on earth. It was not as bad as Princess Garo said. But soon he felt relieved. This was a paradise for the human clan, but for the alien demons who lived on devil qi, it might be hell. No wonder the alien demons could not absorb devil qi from the hole in the seal these years. It turned out that this place had been completely filled with spiritual qi and there was no trace of devil qi. Could it be that the alien demons had been completely annihilated because of the spiritual qi? It was a pity that the Yimo Emperor had worked so hard for thousands of years, but in the end, it was all for naught. There was no trace of the Yimo tribe here, so how could there be an army of Yimo tribe? But why did such a huge change happen here? With a stomach full of questions, Qin Haodong quickly explored around. About 3 or 4 hours later, he returned to the location of the space hole. He had a good look around. Not only were there no alien demons, but he also encountered a few human villages. Most of the villagers here were ordinary people. Occasionally, some cultivators would pass by, but their cultivations were not too high. The highest was only at the nascent soul stage. Overall, the situation here was no different from the cultivation world. If he was not sure that he had entered the passage to the unique devil world, he would have thought that he had returned to the cultivation world. What he needed to do now was to return to Earth as soon as possible, tell everyone about the news, lift the alert, and then discuss what to do next. If he could bring everyone around him to this world, his cultivation would definitely improve by leaps and bounds. Thinking of this, he prepared to enter the space hole again to return to Earth. But at this moment, he was shocked to find that the space hole, which was originally fine, was now covered by an invisible energy. He could not enter at all. This is the space seal. Qin Haodong was stunned. How could it be sealed again after only half a day? This kind of seal was definitely set up by an ancient powerful person. The people on Earth were all warriors, so no one would set up a seal. What was going on? Qin Haodong waved the Xian Yuan sword and attacked the seal. But he helplessly found that the seal was too strong. Even if he used all his strength, he could not move it at all. What the hell? Qin Haodong was speechless. He had come to investigate the situation, but now his way was blocked and he was homeless. He forced himself to calm down and slowly think about the situation in front of him. After thinking for a long time, there was only one conclusion, and that was that the seal set up by the Yellow Emperor and the other ancient powerful people had the ability to recover itself. When the Yimo Emperor was in extreme pain, he used the ghost spear to break the seal. But that was only temporary. After a certain period of time, the seal would automatically recover and reseal the space hole. His parents, women and children were all on the other side, but he was stuck here and could not go back. This was really ridiculous. If he had known that this would happen, he would not have come here. Who would have thought that the seal of the space hole would have the ability to recover itself? Qin Haodong patted his head in frustration, but there was nothing he could do. He sat in front of the seal in a daze, thinking about a way to return. But after sitting for a whole day, he still could not think of a way to return. Lifting his head, he looked at the unbreakable seal. Of course, he could not be like the Yimo Emperor, who was frantically collecting millions of Yin souls. In terms of pure cultivation, he would need to reach the Great Ascension stage in order to break this seal. In the cultivation world, cultivators' cultivation was divided into upper, middle and lower stages. The Qi refining stage, foundation building stage, golden core stage, original infant stage and soul forming stage were lower stages. Each stage was further divided into early, middle and late stages. The void training stage, form synthesis stage and great vehicle stage were middle stages. Each stage was divided into early, middle, late and complete stages. After the tribulation stage, one would enter the upper stage. In his previous life, it took him 500 years to reach the tribulation stage from the Qi refining stage. This time, with his previous cultivation experience, it would not take him that long. The only way now was to increase his cultivation as soon as possible, break the seal and reunite with his family. Since he had confirmed the direction, he did not hesitate anymore. He made a Qi concealing array on the space hole and flew out of the mountain. If he cultivated in the mountain, with the richness of the spiritual Qi and his previous cultivation experience, he would be able to reach the tribulation stage in less than 300 years. But that would be too long. When he was in the cultivation world, the ratio of time to Earth was 100:1. 500 years in the cultivation world was equivalent to 5 years on Earth. But who knew what it would be like here? If he returned to Earth, everything would be different and he would regret it for the rest of his life. Therefore, he needed to increase his cultivation speed as soon as possible. It was not enough to absorb the spiritual Qi between heaven and earth. He needed to obtain as many cultivation resources as possible and refine as many elixirs as possible. With his previous exploration, he had a preliminary understanding of this place. He flew directly to the nearest village. But after flying for about 30 or 40 miles, he suddenly heard someone shouting. "Help! Hurry up and help!" Qin Haodong looked in the direction of the voice and saw a figure flying quickly from afar. This person seemed to have reached the soul-forming stage. He was flying very fast, and behind him was a huge python that was dozens of feet long. "Help! Hurry up and help!" The person flying fast in front of him was a woman. At this time, she also saw Qin Haodong and flew over as if she had seen a savior. Is this the dragon scale python? This place was very similar to the cultivation world. Not only was the woman speaking the language of the cultivation world, but the dragon scale python was also a fourth-rank monster in the cultivation world. In the cultivation world, monsters were divided into 9 levels. Fourth-rank monsters were comparable to human cultivators in the nascent soul stage, and fifth-rank monsters were comparable to human cultivators in the soul-forming stage. The dragon scale python was a fourth-rank monster. Its scales were very similar to the dragon pattern, so it got its name. This kind of monster had very strong defense and fast flying speed, but its strength was not particularly strong. At least, it was not as strong as a cultivator in the soul-forming stage. So the situation in front of him was a little strange. A cultivator in the soul-forming stage comparable to a fifth-rank monster was being chased by a fourth-rank monster and crying for help. What was going on? Just when Qin Haodong was surprised, the woman was almost in front of him. She suddenly ran behind him and hugged his arm tightly, trembling. The dragon scale python followed closely behind, pouncing over with its fangs and claws. Just when Qin Haodong was about to use his sword to kill it, he suddenly felt a fluctuation in the spirit beast bag. The 3-legged golden toad that had been sleeping was moving. Qin Haodong moved his mind and the 3-legged golden toad appeared in front of the dragon scale python. At this time, the 3-legged golden toad was very different from before it fell asleep. Not only was its body bigger, but its body was also light golden. There was also a golden stripe on its forehead. A fifth-rank monster? Qin Haodong could clearly feel that the 3-legged golden toad had advanced to a fifth-rank monster. It seemed that eating the 3 demon generals had helped it a lot. This made him feel a little regretful. If he had known earlier, he would have let the 3-legged golden toad eat the monstrous demon emperor as well. If the demon generals could make it so much stronger, the monstrous demon emperor could probably make it a 6th-rank monster. But now, he could only think about it. He was already trapped in this world, and there was no way he could go back in a short time. The dragon scale python was baring its fangs and brandishing its claws aggressively. When it saw the 3-legged golden toad, it immediately became frightened. There was a natural connection between monsters, and they had an instinctive fear of monsters of a higher rank. Seeing a 5th-rank monster appear out of nowhere, the golden-scaled python was scared and turned around to run, but the 3-legged golden toad did not give it the chance. It opened its mouth, and its tongue, which was more agile than a spirit snake, directly sucked the golden-scaled python into its mouth. After swallowing the dragon-scale python, the 3-legged golden toad turned around and came in front of Qin Haodong. Its big head rubbed against Qin Haodong's arm, as if it was asking for credit. "So scary, don't let it come over." The woman hiding behind Qin Haodong trembled in fear after seeing the 3-legged golden toad. Even her voice was a little out of tune. Qin Haodong was speechless. She had clearly reached the late stage of soul formation. How could she still be so timid? "Don't be afraid, it is my spirit beast. It won't hurt people." "Really? It really won't eat me?" the woman said timidly. "Of course not, it is a spirit beast, not a monster. It is a friend of our human race." After Qin Haodong said that, the woman became a lot bolder and slowly turned around from behind. So beautiful. Even though Qin Haodong had seen many beautiful women, he was still amazed when he saw this woman. This woman was about 20 years old, wearing a body-shaping warrior robe, which vividly showed off her tall and slender figure. She had delicate facial features, perfect skin, and long black hair tied into a ponytail hanging behind her head. There was still a trace of fear on her face, which made people look extremely pitiful. She was beautiful enough, but this courage did not match her identity as a warrior. She should have been a valiant female warrior, but she behaved like a frightened bird. Chapter 862. Thank you for saving me, the woman said to Qin Haodong. Qin Haodong was amused and asked, "You are a warrior at the god transformation stage. How could you be chased by a level 4 magical beast? Why didn't you just kill it? You think I didn't think about it? That thing looks so scary. I'm scared when I see it. I'm almost scared to death." As the woman spoke, she reached out and patted her towering chest, causing it to tremble enchantingly. Qin Haodong was speechless and said, "I really don't know how you practice your cultivation. You are a strong man at the god transformation stage. Why are you afraid of a little monster?" The woman said with some embarrassment, "I did what my master told me to do, but I'm still scared when I see that thing." Qin Haodong shook his head. This woman was not much different from the students on Earth who had high scores but low ability. She had no problems in exams, but she had no actual combat ability. Once she entered society, she would be completely dumbfounded. But after all, he met someone who could help him understand the situation of this world. Naturally, he would not let go of this opportunity. "Girl, where are you going? Let me give you a ride." Okay. There are too many beasts in this mountain. I'm really scared." The woman agreed without hesitation. Qin Haodong took her and jumped onto the back of the three-legged golden toad. Then, they flew west according to the direction of the woman. In this forest, the level 5 spirit beast was already the supreme existence, so the way was very peaceful and they were not disturbed by other monsters. The woman let go of Qin Haodong's arm and said, "Hello, my name is Zhao Xingyue. Thank you for your help. Can you tell me your name?" "My name is Qin Haodong." Zhao Xingyue said, "Your clothes are so strange. I have never seen anyone wearing your clothes. This clothes was made for me by my master. I have lived in the mountains with my master since I was a child. I have never seen the outside world and I don't know what kind of clothes you wear. My master suddenly passed away a few days ago and let me come out to practice alone. I didn't expect to meet you here." This was the excuse that Qin Haodong thought of, which could completely cover up his past. Sure enough, Zhao Xingyue did not doubt it. She took out a set of men's clothes from her storage ring and said, "I was going to disguise myself as a man. You can use this set of clothes first." She stuffed the clothes into Qin Haodong's hands and turned around. Qin Haodong naturally did not want to stand out in this world. He took the robe and changed his clothes. He had lived in the cultivation world for 500 years, so he was no stranger to this kind of clothes. After changing his clothes, he asked, "Can you tell me where this place is? It seems like you really don't know anything." Zhao Xingyue said, "This is the Lingwu continent. Right now, we are in the Black Tortoise country." Lingwu continent? I heard from my master that this place is called the Alien Devil World and there are many alien devils. He told me to be careful. Why don't I see any demons? Qin Haodong asked his own doubts. Unique devil world? Devil race? At this time, Zhao Xingyue was no longer nervous. After hearing his question, she giggled. She was originally beautiful, and her smile was even more beautiful and moving. "I really don't know how long you and your master have stayed in the mountains. The alien demon world and the alien demon tribe are things that happened thousands of years ago. Now, humans are ruling this continent. Where can we find the alien demon tribe?" Zhao Xingyue's statement confirmed Qin Haodong's guess. He asked, "What the hell is going on? Can you tell me more about it?" "Well, anyway, we still have some time to travel. I'll tell you." Zhao Xingyue told him about the whole Lingwu continent. It turned out that this continent used to be called the Yin-Yang continent. Half of it was filled with spiritual qi and occupied by human beings. The other half was filled with devil chi and occupied by the alien demon tribe. The human race could not survive in an environment full of devil chi, and the alien demon could not adapt to the spiritual chi either. Therefore, there was not much conflict between the two sides. But just 5,000 years ago, there was a change in the Enyang continent. There was more and more spiritual chi and less devil chi. The space occupied by the alien demon tribe was getting smaller and smaller. 1,000 years ago, 4 spirit springs suddenly appeared on this continent. The spirit chi was unprecedentedly abundant, and the devil chi was squeezed to the point where there was no space left for the alien demons to survive. In the end, the alien demons were annihilated by the human race. From then on, the Enyang continent was changed to the Lingwu continent and a scuffle began. Finally, based on the 4 spirit springs, the continent was divided into 4 countries, named Azure Dragon, White Tiger, Vermilion Bird, and Black Tortoise. They were now in the place that was once ruled by the alien demon tribe. Now it was the Black Tortoise Kingdom of the Lingwu continent. Qin Haodong nodded secretly. It seemed that 5,000 years ago, the strong alien demon tribe broke the space barrier and entered the plane of the Earth because their living space was getting smaller and smaller. But later, the space hole was sealed by the Yellow Emperor and other ancient powerful figures. The alien demon tribe that stayed on this continent could only go to extinction. Although Zhao Xingyue was a little timid, she was very knowledgeable and answered one question after another. Finally, Qin Haodong asked, "Master passed away. I want to find a place to continue my cultivation. Is there any good way to improve my cultivation quickly?" The best way to improve your cultivation quickly is to study in the academy. Zhao Xingyue said excitedly, "There are 4 academies in the Lingwu continent, and the Black Tortoise Academy is not far away. Today is the last day of enrollment in the Black Tortoise Academy. I'm going there to sign up. Would you like to go with me? Go to the academy?" Qin Haodong was a little hesitant. Zhao Xingyue continued, "Let me tell you, the cultivation resources of the entire Lingwu continent are basically controlled by the academy and the royal family. If you don't have the royal blood, you can only study in the academy. In the academy, you can learn the best cultivation methods, get guidance from famous teachers, and enjoy the cultivation resources, which you can't get anywhere else." Her words moved Qin Haodong. As the Emperor Greenwood in his previous life, he didn't lack cultivation methods or guidance from famous teachers, but he lacked cultivation resources. If he could get enough cultivation resources, he would soon be able to cultivate to the Desheng stage and reopen the space hole. "Well, I'll go with you." "Great, there's finally someone to keep me company." Zhao Xingyue tried to persuade Qin Haodong to go to the Black Tortoise Academy. It seemed that she was just looking for someone to boost her courage. After the two discussed, they flew together in the direction of the Black Tortoise Academy. However, Zhao Xingyue seemed to be unfamiliar with the road and took the wrong way several times. Finally, they asked around several times and finally saw the shadow of the Black Tortoise Academy from afar. When they arrived above the academy, Qin Haodong couldn't help but be slightly surprised. It was indeed one of the top academies in the Lingwu continent. The scale was a bit too big, it was like a small city. When they approached the Black Tortoise Academy, the two jumped down from the back of the 3-legged golden toad. Qin Haodong put it into the spirit beast bag and the two walked to the front of the gate. The gate of the Black Tortoise Academy was built magnificently, just like the city gate in the costume movies. There were several tables placed next to the gate with a banner that said, "New Student Registration Office." As soon as the two walked over, a middle-aged man who looked like a teacher said enthusiastically, "Are you here to sign up?" Qin Haodong glanced at the middle-aged man. As expected of the Black Tortoise Academy, a random teacher had reached the early void refinement stage. He said, "Hello, teacher, we're here to sign up." The middle-aged man said, "Welcome to the Black Tortoise Academy. Please pay the registration fee of 1 top-grade spirit stone first and then take the college test. If you pass, you'll be a member of our academy." "The registration fee is so expensive?" Qin Haodong looked confused. When he was in the cultivation world, he also used spirit stones as a common currency. The problem was that he didn't have many top-grade spirit stones and he had used them all. Moreover, the registration fee of one top-grade spirit stone was a bit too expensive. Although there were countless Huaxia dollars and US dollars in the storage ring, it seemed to be no different from waste paper on this continent. The middle-aged man said, "We're one of the 4 most famous academies on the continent. The registration fee of one top-grade spirit stone is already very cheap. Whether it was expensive or not was secondary. The key was that Qin Haodong really had no money at the moment." He shook his head helplessly. It seemed that he could only ask Zhao Xingyue. Looking at her luxurious clothes, she must be a child of a rich family. She should not care about the registration fee of one top-grade spirit stone. But as soon as he turned around, before he could speak, he heard Zhao Xingyue say shyly, "Brother Qin, can you lend me 100 gold coins first? I'll pay you back later." Qin Haodong was suddenly dumbfounded. What was going on? Before he could speak, she asked for money first. He turned back and said to the middle-aged man, "Teacher, we don't have that much money. Can we sign up first and pay it back later?" Hearing that they had no money, the middle-aged man's face immediately became cold. "Pay the registration fee and take the test. This is the academy system. I can't do anything about it." Sure enough, no matter where you were, you couldn't do anything without money. Qin Haodong took Zhao Xingyue to the side and they began to discuss again. He asked, "Aren't you here to sign up? Why don't you bring money?" Zhao Xingyue said rather embarrassedly, "I came out in a hurry, so I forgot to bring money. If you have money, you can lend it to me first. I'll definitely pay you back later." Qin Haodong spread his hands and said, "I came from the mountains. I don't have a penny. How can I lend you?" Zhao Xingyue said awkwardly, "What should we do? Today is the last day of Black Tortoise College's enrollment. If we can't sign up, we can only wait until next year." "We can't wait. Let's think of a way." Qin Haodong was eager to improve his cultivation and return to Earth as soon as possible. He didn't want to waste a day, let alone a year. Although he had no top-grade spirit stone, there were countless materials in his storage ring. He wanted to see what was valuable and exchange some gold coins for registration. Not far from the gate of the college was a bustling commercial street. It was very prosperous, with people coming and going. There was a wine shop at the end of the street, with a big sign on the door with the words, 10 miles fragrance, written on it. The business of the wine shop was very good, and people went in to buy wine from time to time. Qin Haodong walked over, and the fat boss immediately greeted him, "Little brother, do you want to buy wine? We have authentic 10 miles fragrance here. You can buy a jar of it for only 100 top-grade spirit stones. You can have a taste. I'm sure you'll be satisfied with our wine." The fat boss was very good at doing business. As he spoke, he sent 2 small cups filled with wine to Qin Haodong and Zhao Xingyue. Chapter 863. Qin Haodong took the glass in his hand and smelled it. Then he frowned and took a sip. Suddenly, he spat it out. "It's too bad. Can this be called wine?" He immediately attracted the attention of the people around him and they all looked over. The fat boss's face immediately darkened and he said angrily, "Boy, are you looking for trouble with me?" Qin Haodong shook his head and said, "I'm not looking for trouble. It's your wine that tastes too bad." He was telling the truth. The winemaking technology here was really bad. The wine brewed here was sour and astringent. It was not comparable to the wine on Earth at all. Nonsense. The fat boss became even angrier and shouted angrily, "Boy, if you want to make trouble, you should choose a better reason. Who in the entire Black Tortoise Institute doesn't know of my Fatty Gao's Tenli fragrance? This is a secret recipe passed down from generation to generation. Even Dean Luo only drinks my family's wine, yet you dare to say that my wine isn't tasty? the people around also began to talk about it. Yes, Fatty Gao's wine is really good. Tenli Xiang is a first-class wine, but it's a little too expensive. It costs 100 upper-level spirit stones. I don't know where this young man came from. He really doesn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. How dare he say that Tenli Xiang is not good? Hearing everyone's discussion, the fat boss said proudly, "Boy, did you hear that? No wine can be better than my Tenli Xiang." Qin Haodong just smiled slightly. He just came here to learn about the market and price of wine on the Lingwu continent so that he could price the wine he was about to sell. He turned around and left the wine shop. Zhao Xingyue followed him and said, "Brother Qin, shouldn't we hurry up and find a way to raise the registration fee? Why are you looking at other people's wine? Don't worry, the registration fee will be here soon." Qin Haodong said with a smile, "How many upper-level spirit stones can I exchange for one top-level spirit stone?" Zhao Xingyue said, 10,000. Qin Haodong nodded and took out a table from his storage ring and put it in front of him. Then he took out 2 bottles of Maotai and put them on the table. He had just seen that many people here had storage rings, so he was not worried that his behavior would attract others' attention. "What is this? It's beautiful." Zhao Xingyue picked up a bottle of Maotai and asked. Although the Lingwu continent was rich in spiritual qi, the jars used to store wine could not be compared to the modern industrially manufactured Maotai wine bottles. The difference was worlds apart. "Wine? That'll be our registration fee later." Qin Haodong took out another piece of wood and wrote, "Sell wine," on it. Then he put it in front of the table. Zhao Xingyue said in surprise, "Brother Qin, can you sell wine in front of a wine shop?" The tall fat man had been paying attention to Qin Haodong and saw the sign. He couldn't help but sneer, "I don't know where this fool came from. How dare he sell wine in front of my wine shop? I can guarantee that he won't be able to sell a single drop. There is no wine in this world that can compare to my Tenli fragrance." Hearing this, the others echoed and laughed at Qin Haodong for showing off in front of Guan Yu. Although they were separated by a street, Qin Haodong still heard what these people said clearly. He smiled, took a bottle of wine, and opened the cap. Maotai was originally a fragrant wine. It was the most fragrant kind of wine. When this 15-year-old bottle of Fatian Maotai was opened, the rich wine fragrance suddenly spread. With the help of Greenwood genuine qi, almost the entire commercial street could smell its wine fragrance. "My God, what wine is this? Why is it so fragrant? This is the real Tenli fragrance." No wonder the young man just said that the tall fat man's wine is nothing. It turns out that he has a real good wine. This wine is so fragrant. If I could have a sip, I would be willing to die. The tall fat man was completely dumbfounded. His proud smile froze on his face. As a winemaker, he naturally could smell how good the wine was. This was the real Tenli fragrance. Under the influence of the wine fragrance, it immediately attracted countless drunkards. Many people surrounded Qin Haodong's table. "Young man, how much is your wine?" "I'll take it." A middle-aged drunkard wiped his saliva and reached for the Maotai. Qin Haodong said, 5 top-grade spirit stones for a bottle." "What? How much?" As soon as the man's hand touched the bottle of Maotai, it was as if he had touched a bomb. Like a bullet, he quickly retracted it. Qin Haodong said, 5 top-grade spirit stones for a bottle of wine. There is no discount. Oh my God, are you crazy? How can there be such an expensive wine? Hearing this price, many people who wanted to buy retreated and could only keep wiping their saliva. After a short moment of astonishment, Zhao Xingyue whispered in Qin Haodong's ear, "Brother Qin, is your wine too expensive?" Although the Lingwu continent was full of spiritual qi and rich in top-grade spirit stones, there were many cultivators on this continent and the consumption of spirit stones every day was extremely huge. Therefore, a top-grade spirit stone had a strong purchasing power. 10 top-grade spirit stones for 2 bottles of wine was definitely not affordable for ordinary people. Qin Haodong said, "Don't worry, it's definitely worth the price." He had enough confidence. No matter where it was, it had always been expensive when it was rare. These 2 bottles of Mao Tai were definitely rare goods here, and there would be buyers soon. Just then, a skinny old man suddenly appeared in front of the wine shop. He carried a huge wine gourd on his back and exuded a strong smell of wine. "Dean Luo, you're here." After seeing the old man, the tall fat man immediately greeted him with a flattering face. The skinny old man was Luo Dongqing, the deputy dean of Black Tortoise Academy. He had no other hobbies in his life except for wine. Every day, he would go to the tall fat man's place to buy a gourd of fragrance. Luo Dongqing sniffed and said eagerly, "Tall fat man, why didn't you inform me that you have such good wine? Do you want to close the wine shop? Hurry up and bring me the good wine." "Dean Luo, I've already prepared it for you. Our shop has the best fragrance," the tall fat man said as he held a jar of wine in front of Luo Dongqing. Luo Dongqing raised his hand and patted the seal on the wine jar. He sniffed and said, No, this fragrance didn't come from a long time. Hurry up and change it for me." The tall fat man said, "Dean Luo, this is the best wine in our shop." Luo Dongqing grabbed the tall fatty's collar and lifted him up lightly. "Nonsense, I can smell the aroma of the wine. Do you still want to hide it?" Although the tall fat man knew what was going on, he pointed at Qin Haodong with a bitter face and said, "Dean Luo, don't be angry. The wine you smell is from that young man." Luo Dongqing immediately put the tall fat man down and turned to Qin Haodong's table. Looking at the 2 bottles of Mao Tai on the table and smelling the strong wine fragrance, he kept swallowing. If it weren't for his identity as the deputy dean, he would have grabbed the 2 bottles immediately. "Young man, how much is your wine?" "I'll take it. 10 top-grade spirit stones." Looking at the old man in front of him, Qin Haodong's pupils shrank slightly. He couldn't see through the old man's cultivation, which could only mean that he was at least a strong man in the form synthesis stage. Luo Dongqing was shocked and cried, "What? It's so expensive. Young man, I've never seen such expensive wine in my life. I can guarantee that you've never tasted such good wine in your life." Qin Haodong said with a smile, "And it's not a scam. The college charges 1 top-grade spirit stone for registration." "That's a scam." Luo Dongqing said, "Are you a freshman here to register?" Qin Haodong nodded and said, "This is the best wine. There are only 2 bottles left. If it weren't for the registration fee, I wouldn't have sold them." "Interesting. I hope you can pass the test of our school." Luo Dongqing smiled and said, "I'll take this wine." After that, he threw down 10 top-grade spirit stones, grabbed the bottle of Mao Tai in his hand, raised his head, and took a big gulp. "Good wine. Really good wine." After saying that, Luo Dongqing disappeared with the 2 bottles of wine. The other drunkards couldn't help swallowing when they saw Luo Dongqing drinking. Only the tall fatty was slightly relieved. He heard clearly that Qin Haodong only had 2 bottles of this wine. If he really had more, his winery would probably be closed. Qin Haodong put away the 10 top-grade spirit stones and said to Zhao Xingyue, "Let's go and register." They came to the middle-aged teacher again and handed over the 2 top-grade spirit stones. After receiving the money, Zhou Yukai took out 2 forms and asked them to fill in their basic information. Then he took out 2 testing crystals and gave 1 to each of them. "Pour all your genuine qi into it. If you meet the requirements, you'll be a member of our school." Qin Haodong held the crystal in his palm. He didn't know what the admission standard of the Black Tortoise College was. But seeing that Zhao Xingyue had reached the late stage of Huashan realm and still came here to register, it should not be too low. So he directly poured all his cultivation into it. When the green wood genuine qi entered the testing crystal, it burst into a dazzling red light in an instant. Zhou Yukai had been watching from the side. He clearly saw the process of Qin Haodong selling wine to raise the registration fee. He felt that such a person, who didn't even have a top-grade spirit stone, would not have a high cultivation. He might not even be able to pass the examination. Although the Black Tortoise College was the highest level college in the Black Tortoise Kingdom, as long as one's cultivation reached the early stage of Yuanyin realm, he would meet the admission standard. They had recruited almost 1,000 students this year, most of whom were at the early stage of Yuanyin realm. Only the most outstanding students would reach the early stage of Huashan realm. But he didn't expect that this student, whom he didn't think highly of, would make the crystal glow red. That was the sign of the early stage of Huashan realm. Was he a genius student? Qin Haodong put down the testing crystal and looked at the dull Zhou Yukai. He asked, "Teacher, did I pass the test?" Zhou Yukai came to his senses and looked at the form in his hand. It clearly said that this person was 21 years old. How could he have such a high cultivation? Even the so-called peerless genius of the Black Tortoise College didn't have such a good result when she entered the college. He licked his lips and asked, "Did you hide your age?" "Hide my age?" Qin Haodong said in surprise, "I'm not on a blind date. Why should I hide my age?" The middle-aged man raised his hand and slapped his forehead. I forgot. If you are over the age of 30, the crystal will call the police." He immediately said with a smile, "Congratulations on becoming a member of our Black Tortoise College." Chapter 864. My God, she reached the late stage of soul formation at the age of 21. She's too amazing, comparisons are odious. I signed up at the middle stage of nascent soul realm. I thought I was great, but I'm nothing compared to her. A genius is a genius. I've been living like a dog all my life. It's so annoying, hearing that there was a new student at the late stage of soul formation. The whole Black Tortoise Academy was boiling. Everyone gathered here to see what this year's genius was like. Qin Haodong secretly shook his head when he heard the discussion around him. He wanted to keep a low profile, but he accidentally became famous again. At this time, Zhao Xingyue also finished her test, and the test crystal in her hand glowed with a yellow halo. Zhou Yukai said, "Late stage of nascent soul realm. Congratulations on passing the test of our academy." Qin Haodong was slightly surprised. This girl was obviously at the late stage of soul formation. How could she be at the late stage of nascent soul realm? He asked in a low voice, "Did you hide your strength?" "Yes." Zhao Xingyue nodded shyly, "I was so scared when I saw so many people around you, so I hid a little." Qin Haodong was speechless for a while. He really didn't know how such a timid girl managed to escape. "You too, please choose your major," Zhou Yukai said again. Major? Qin Haodong didn't expect that cultivation also needed to choose a major. He asked, "What majors are there in our school?" "There are summoner, alchemist and martial arts." Qin Haodong said, "Then I'll choose alchemist." Zhou Yukai said, "Okay, please show me your alchemist medal." "What medal?" Zhou Yukai explained, "Our academy is the highest level academy in the Lingwu continent. Naturally, there is a lower limit. You can only choose alchemist if you are at least a third stage alchemist. Then I'll choose martial arts." Although Qin Haodong was confident that he would not lose to anyone in alchemy, he had no medal, so he could only choose martial arts. "I'm the same as him," Zhao Xingyue said immediately, as if she was afraid that Qin Haodong would get rid of her. "Well, you're martial arts students. Now come with me to the student dormitory." After Zhou Yukai finished speaking, he led the two of them into the Black Tortoise Institute's main entrance and walked towards the students' living quarters. The Black Tortoise Institute was simply too big. It was simply a small city. Fortunately, they were all cultivators and their speed was very fast. "This is your living area. You can choose a dormitory for your own use." Looking at the elegant and chic courtyards in front of him, Qin Haodong asked in surprise, "Is this our dormitory? Do you live alone?" The middle-aged man nodded and said, "That's right. For the convenience of cultivation, we have a courtyard for each student. As long as there's no student symbol hanging on the door, it's an empty dormitory. You can choose any." How extravagant. When Qin Haodong went to school in his previous life, there were 4 or 5 students squeezing into a small room. The treatment he received now was unimaginable on Earth, where every inch of land was worth gold. He pointed at a courtyard and said, "I want this one." Zhao Xingyue added, "I want the one next to him." "Sure." Zhou Yukai smirked and said, "The rent for each dormitory is 5 top-quality spirit stones a year. Pay the money now." What the hell? Does the dormitory cost money? And 5 top-quality spirit stones? Qin Haodong felt that Zhou Yukai was not a teacher at all, but more like a businessman. Zhou Yukai said confidently, "Of course, the school also costs money to build a dormitory. 5 top-quality spirit stones is very cheap." Qin Haodong was speechless for a while. Was this still a college? It was really difficult to do anything without money. Zhao Xingyue asked, "Is there a cheaper dormitory?" Zhou Yukai said, "Our college treats everyone the same. The dormitory is not graded." Zhao Xingyue asked with blushing cheeks, "Can 2 people live in a dormitory?" Zhou Yukai said, "The school only charges according to the number of dormitories. As for how many people live in it, it's your own business." Qin Haodong had no choice. He only had 8 top-quality spirit stones in his hand. He could not leave Zhao Xingyue alone. If he had known this, he would have asked the old drunkard for more money. He took out 5 top-quality spirit stones and gave them to Zhou Yukai. Zhou Yukai took the money and did not rush to put it away. He said, "Freshmen also need to buy school uniforms. Each set costs 1 top-quality spirit stone." Qin Haodong had no choice but to give out 2 top-quality spirit stones and get 2 sets of white school uniforms. Remember to wear school uniforms when you go out in the future, or you will be fined 1 top-quality spirit stone each time. Zhou Yukai continued, "Our Black Tortoise College is a top college. The management of students is extremely strict. In the future, you must act according to the management rules of the college. Otherwise, you will be fined or expelled. I have the management rules of the college here. I'll sell it to you at a cheaper price. 2 books for 1 top-quality spirit stone." Soon, Zhou Yukai left with 8 top-quality spirit stones, satisfied. Qin Haodong had 2 more red booklets in his hand, but his pockets were empty. "Damn it, I've become a pauper again so soon." Qin Haodong looked at Zhou Yotsai's back angrily. Why did he call himself that? Just call him Zhou Bapi. The money had been spent. They took their things into their dormitory. Although it was a little expensive, the conditions were really good. All kinds of daily necessities were available. The only drawback was that there was only 1 bed. According to the rules, they put on the school uniforms. Zhao Xingyue said embarrassedly, "Brother Qin, I'm sorry to trouble you. It doesn't matter. It's fate that we met." Qin Haodong said as he looked through the student management rules in his hand. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Since he had become a member of Black Tortoise College, he had to see how it was managed. Soon, he figured out the situation here. The management of Black Tortoise College was completely different from that of the previous college. The college was divided into 4 grades. The students of each grade wore different colors. From the 1st grade to the 4th grade, they wore 4 colors: white, black, blue, and purple. Here, students were forbidden to fight in private. However, if there was a conflict, they could challenge each other to a duel on the challenge stage. The challenge stage was presided over by a teacher of the school. The fee for each challenge was 10 top-quality spirit stones, which was paid by the party who initiated the challenge. The party who lost the challenge had to pay 10 top-quality spirit stones to the winning party. At the same time, there were many related supplementary provisions. For example, junior students could refuse the challenge of senior students, and if senior students refused the challenge of junior students, they had to pay 10 top-quality spirit stones as compensation. In terms of students' classes, the school also had its own management characteristics. Students were not forced to attend any course. However, there was an evaluation test every month. The students who ranked lower in the test had to give top-quality spirit stones as a reward to the students who ranked higher. The college also provided many ways for students to earn spirit stones, which were distributed through the school's task union. If students wanted to earn spirit stones, they could go to the union to do tasks. Each task paid different amounts of spirit stones according to the difficulty. As an earthling, he saw at a glance that the core of the management of students was to mobilize the enthusiasm of students through money. Under the pressure of money, unless one was rich, he dared not relax at all. Qin Haodong was very satisfied with this management method. He didn't need to attend classes at all. He only needed a sufficient number of spirit stones to practice. The loose management method saved him a lot of trouble. But the problem now was that he had no spirit stones at hand. He needed to find a way to make money. Zhao Xingyue also realized the importance of money. She said, "Brother Qin, let's go to the task union and find a way to earn some top-quality spirit stones." Qin Haodong nodded and they went to the task union of the college together. The Mission Guild was the largest building in the academy. It had a total of 4 floors, and the bottom 3 floors were where missions were issued. Each floor had a hall that was close to 1,000 meters wide, but it was still filled to the brim with students who came to look for missions. After all, for most students, the only way to get more spirit stones for practice was to do tasks. The two of them looked at the notice board and saw that there were all kinds of missions posted on it. Some were to help nearby residents find cats, some were to help rich people walk their dogs, some were to hunt monsters for Nadens, and some were to help the government arrest thieves. Generally speaking, the more difficult the task, the higher the reward. Qin Haodong looked at it. Although some tasks paid a lot of money, they needed more time. Time was the last thing he could afford now. Zhao Xingyue said, "Brother Qin, which task do you think we should do?" Qin Haodong said, "I don't think these tasks are suitable for me. You can choose one if you need it." Zhao Xingyue said quickly, "How can I do that? How dare I do a task alone?" Qin Haodong was speechless for a while. This girl was really timid. Zhao Xingyue said timidly, "Brother Qin, why don't we go upstairs and have a look? Maybe there will be a task you're satisfied with." "Okay, let's go up." Qin Haodong also wanted to know as much as possible about the Black Tortoise College, so he went upstairs with Zhao Xingyue. The lower 3 floors of the task union were for issuing tasks. The tasks on each floor were more advanced than the previous one. However, Qin Haodong did not choose a task he was satisfied with after looking through all 3 floors. It was not that he could not complete these tasks, but that they took too much time. They came to the 4th floor and found that it was not a place for issuing tasks, but a place for students to trade. Here, students could barter with each other, trade by themselves, or sell what they had to the school in exchange for the spirit stones they needed. Qin Haodong walked around and found a student in a purple school uniform selling the nature elixir. He stepped forward and asked, "Senior, how much does this elixir cost?" The student said, 200 top-grade spirit stones. 200 top-grade spirit stones? Qin Haodong was shocked. He did not expect the price of the elixir to be so high. The student glanced at him and seemed to be very dissatisfied with his fuss. "What's so strange about it? This is a 4th-grade elixir. 200 spirit stones are very cheap." Qin Haodong was speechless. It seemed that elixirs were extremely valuable in this world. When he was on Earth, he once refined 36 nature elixirs at one time, but he gave them to Lin Momo. He had none in his hands. But it didn't matter. He could refine another batch and solve the problem of lack of money immediately. Thinking of this, he had already determined the direction of making money in the future, which was to refine elixirs and sell elixirs. He could earn spirit stones as fast as possible and improve his cultivation. After making up his mind, he left the task union with Zhao Xingyue and walked to the College of Pharmacists next to it. Chapter 865. They arrived at the School of Alchemists and inquired about it. The Alchemist Union of Xuanwu Kingdom had a branch here, selling medicinal materials and elixirs. They arrived at the Alchemist Union. The first floor was the medicinal materials sales hall, which was about the same size as the task union, with an area of more than 1,000 square meters. Qin Haodong walked around and found that all kinds of precious medicinal materials were available, such as green snake fruit, soft fragrance grass, pearl grass, intoxicating dream flower, and all kinds of monsters nadins. The starry moon Bodhi seed was extremely rare on Earth, but it was just an ordinary medicinal material here. However, Qin Haodong was dumbfounded when he saw the price. One starry moon Bodhi seed cost 100 top-grade spirit stones. No wonder the creation pill was so expensive. If the price was too low, he couldn't even recover the cost. He had all the medicinal materials needed to refine the creation pill in his storage ring. He only lacked the starry moon Bodhi seed. The problem was that he was too poor now. He didn't even have a top-grade spirit stone in his pocket. It seemed that alchemy also required a cost. The most important thing now was to find a way to get the first bucket of gold. He asked the salesman of the union, "Can I borrow some medicinal materials here and pay for them after I refine the pill?" The salesman looked at him strangely and said, "I'm sorry, we don't have that kind of service here. You have to pay first." They had no choice but to leave the Alchemist Union. As soon as they walked out of the door, 3 students in blue came toward them. One of the thin students suddenly saw Zhao Xingyue and exclaimed, "Brother, look, that girl is so beautiful. She's not inferior to our school's Jinghong fairy." A short fat student next to him said, "Yes, brother, it's rare to see such a beautiful woman, and she's a new student who hasn't been discovered by others. This is a good opportunity to pursue her." The student who was called brother was called Dong Zhenjiang. He was about 1.85 meters tall. He was good-looking, but his eyes looked extremely wretched. At this time, his eyes were fixed on Zhao Xingyue, as if they were going to be nailed into her flesh. He didn't move at all. "Brother, don't just stand there. Hurry up, or this girl will go far." The short fat student raised his hand and pulled Dong Zhenjiang's sleeve. Oh. Dong Zhenjiang turned around and wiped the saliva from the corner of his mouth. He quickly walked up to the 2 of them. "Junior sister, let me introduce myself. My name is Dong Zhenjiang, an old student of our school. In the future, as long as you mention me in this school, no one will dare to cause trouble for you." While speaking, he was still staring at Zhao Xingyue's face and ignored Qin Haodong. Seeing someone suddenly blocking her way, Zhao Xingyue. "Who are you? I don't know you." Dong Qin and smiled and said, Dong and Dao, Union, and Dao, Fairy, and. Zhao Xingyue said nervously, "I don't want to be friends with you. Leave now. Boy, girl, and Su, and, Yang, and Si, Hai, Yang, Hai, Zhao, ALDS, town." The chunky young man said rudely to Qin Haodong, "Did you hear that, boy? She will be my boss's girlfriend. Get out of my sight, or I'll beat you every time I see you." Zhao Xingyue was afraid that Qin Haodong would leave her alone, so she held his arm and said, "Don't go, brother Qin. I'm scared. Don't worry. I'm here. Everything will be fine." Zhao Xingyue was the first person Qin Haodong had met on this continent, and she was his only friend. Naturally, he would not leave her alone. He glanced at the 3 people in front of him. No matter where he went, he would meet these annoying flies. "Did you hear that? She doesn't like you. Go. Seeing that Qin Haodong did not take them seriously, the short fat student immediately stared at him and said, "Boy, how dare you? Do you know who you are talking to?" The skinny student said, "That's right. You're just a freshman. What right do you have to talk to us like this?" Qin Haodong frowned and said, "Get out of here before I get angry." "Boy, you're so arrogant." Dong Junjiang felt that he had lost face in front of the beauty, so he yelled, "Do you know who I am? How dare you talk to me like this?" The short fat student said, "That's right. Do you think our boss can't do anything to you because the school forbids fighting? If you annoy our boss, you won't be able to stay in this school." The skinny student yelled, "If you have the ability, come to the challenge platform with our boss. I promise you that your mother won't recognize you." Qin Haodong's heart skipped a beat. Among the three people, Dong Junjiang's cultivation was the highest, but he was only at the early stage of Huashan realm. The other two had just reached the late stage of Huashan realm. He thought of the rules of the school. If he went to the challenge platform and won, he would earn a sum of money. It was a good business. It seemed that God was kind to him. He was just about to doze off when he received a pillow. He looked at the three people and asked, "Do you want to go to the challenge platform with me?" Generally speaking, most of the new students who had just registered were at the early stage of Huashan realm, which was no match for the old students who had been cultivating for a few years. The three people just wanted to scare Qin Haodong, but they failed. At this time, Dong Junjiang had been fascinated by Zhao Xingyue. He would not flinch in front of the woman he liked. On the contrary, he was eager to show off his ability. He immediately said arrogantly, "Boy, I challenge you. If you have the ability, come to the challenge platform with me and see how I teach you a lesson." Zhao Xingyue was timid. Seeing the three people's appearance, she immediately said timidly, "Brother Qin, let's go. We are new students and we can refuse the challenge of the old students." Hearing her words, the three people became more confident. They thought that Qin Haodong's cultivation was definitely not too high. Dong Junjiang yelled, "Boy, if you are a man, come to the challenge platform with me, or give up the girl." The short fat man also yelled, "If you are scared, get out of here. Stay away from our boss in the future." The skinny guy yelled, "Girl, why do you follow such a useless man? You'd better follow our boss. I'm sure you'll be popular in the school." Qin Haodong was secretly amused, but he put on an indignant expression and said, "Let's go. I'm not afraid of you. If you have the guts, let's go to the challenge platform now. I'll beat you until your mother can't recognize you." Dong Junjiang said to Zhao Xingyue with a smile, "Junior sister, I'll show you what real ability is. In our school, you have to rely on your own cultivation. A gigolo is not popular at all." The challenge platform was not too far away from them. 10 minutes later, they arrived at the challenge platform. It was not much different from the arena on Earth, but it was wider, with an area of nearly 100 square meters. Also, it was strengthened by a formation and was unbreakable. There were nearly 1,000 seats around the challenge platform. Whenever there was a challenge, some busybody students would often come to watch. A big school like the Black Tortoise Institute, with nearly 10,000 students, had disputes every day. People often came here to challenge. The school had teachers on duty here to accept the challenge applications of students. As an old student, Dong Junjiang was very familiar with the challenge procedures. He first paid 10 best grade spirit stones and then said to the short fat man, "Ma Dong, go and teach this guy a lesson." He was extremely arrogant and thought that it would be a shame for him to deal with a new student, so he asked the fat man Ma Dong to do it. "Don't worry, boss. I'll beat this gigolo so hard that his mother won't recognize him." Ma Dong jumped onto the challenge platform. Qin Haodong followed him. The teacher on duty was already standing in the middle of the platform as the referee. The school's rule for the challenge was that injuries were allowed, but no deaths were allowed. The referee was Wang Dalai, an expert at the early void refinement stage. He had to ensure the safety of both sides. At this time, nearly 100 students had gathered below the platform to watch the fun. Seeing a new student who had just registered accepted the challenge of a third-year student, everyone could not help but talk about it. Who is this guy? He really doesn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. He dares to accept the challenge of a senior student when he just arrived at the school. Isn't he looking for death? Does he not know the rules of our school? Doesn't he know that juniors can refuse challenges from seniors? Is this a new student? He's so handsome. If he can win, I'll consider being his girlfriend. On the platform, after confirming that there was no problem with both sides, Wang Dalai shouted, "Get ready. The challenge begins." Ma Dong smiled coldly. "Gigolo, today I'll show you the gap between a new student and a senior student. Whirlwind Dragon Kick." As a third-year student, he was very confident in his cultivation at the late nascent soul stage, so he used a very fancy move at the beginning. His whole body rose into the air, and his 2 feet kicked out consecutively, like 2 roaring dragons kicking towards Qin Haodong's head. For a player of this level, Qin Haodong could slap him to death with one slap, but he did not want to expose too much of his cultivation. The most important thing now was to earn enough spirit stones. If his performance was too strong, it would be difficult in the future. Therefore, he also suppressed his cultivation to the late nascent soul stage and did not use his full strength. After fighting for more than 10 minutes, he used a move that seemed to hurt both sides. First, he let Ma Dong punch him in the chest, and then he was kicked off the platform. Seeing that the new student who had just registered had defeated a third-year student, the audience immediately began to cheer and applaud Qin Haodong. Dong Junjiang's face immediately darkened. He did not expect that his man would lose the game. Now, not only did he have to take out 10 top-grade spirit stones to give to his opponent, but he also lost face. How could he raise his head in front of Zhao Xingyue? Qin Haodong covered his chest and pretended to be in pain as he walked down the platform. Zhao Xingyue immediately greeted him with concern. "Brother Qin, are you okay?" He shook his head and said, "I'm fine." Then he said to Dong Junjiang next to him, "How about it? Are you convinced?" Being slapped in the face by a new student, Dong Junjiang said with a red face, "Boy, why are you so arrogant? If you have the ability, let's fight again." Zhao Xingyue quickly said, "You can't fight anymore. Brother Qin is already injured." Qin Haodong was secretly amused. With this timid little girl next to him, he didn't even need to act. He was completely acting. He said angrily, "Why not? As long as you dare to challenge me, I dare to accept." "Good boy, wait and see." Dong Junjiang paid another 10 top-grade spirit stones as a challenge fee, and then said to another skinny student, "Lu Fei, this time you go, you must earn back the face you lost." "Don't worry, boss, I will earn back the face for you this time." In terms of cultivation, Lu Fei and Ma Dong were not much different. They were both at the late nascent soul stage, but at the moment, he was full of confidence, because he saw that Qin Haodong was already an arrow at the end of its flight and was injured. It was impossible for Qin Haodong to be his opponent. Chapter 866. Is there something wrong with this freshman's head? It's good enough that he won one game. Does he want to defeat 2 senior students in a row? Just now, both sides were injured. He has been beaten like this, but he still dared to accept the challenge. There must be something wrong with his head. Didn't you see that he was fighting for the girl next to him? "If I had such a beautiful girlfriend, would be willing to die." There was a lot of discussion among the onlookers. They were not optimistic about Qin Haodong's next game. Under the host of Wang Dalai, the second round of challenges began. The situation on the field seemed to confirm everyone's guess. Qin Haodong was beaten back and seemed to be unable to hold on any longer. He always seemed to be a little bit away from losing, but this little bit was always maintained. Lu Fei became more and more anxious, and his moves became more and more complicated, so there were more and more loopholes. In the end, the situation of the last game was repeated again, and both sides were injured. In the end, Lu Fei was kicked off the challenge stage by Qin Haodong, and he spat out a big mouthful of blood. Of course, this was all an illusion. The blood that Qin Haodong spat out was actually the ketchup that he had hidden and swallowed when no one was paying attention. Seeing that Qin Haodong was vomiting blood, Zhao Xingyue rushed to the stage to hold him and asked with concern, "Brother Qin, how are you? Are you okay?" Qin Haodong thought to himself, this girl can be selected for the best supporting actress. She always comes up to help me at the critical moment. I'm fine. I won't die. He put on a stubborn expression and said to Dong Zhenjiang again, "How about it? Are you convinced?" Dong Zhenjiang hated him to death. He didn't expect that his two younger brothers were so useless that they failed to win 2 games in a row. He said, "Boy, I underestimated you. Do you dare to fight with me? This person is too shameless." It is obvious that he has already fought twice and was injured, but he still wants to challenge. He is vomiting blood. I think as long as there is nothing wrong with his head, he will definitely not accept the challenge. I know him. He is Dong Zhenjiang, a third-year student. He has reached the early stage of the divine transformation realm, which is not comparable to those in the Yuaning realm. Qin Haodong was secretly happy. He was about to get the 30 top-grade spirit stones. Why wouldn't I dare? I've already told you, as long as you dare to challenge me, I dare to accept. When everyone thought that Qin Haodong would refuse the challenge, a surprising scene happened. The young man in front of them, who was still wiping the blood from the corner of his mouth, agreed again. Dong Zhenjiang didn't care about this at all. A cold smile appeared on his face. Good, your courage is commendable. Do you dare to bet with me again? Although he had some money, he had just paid 20 top-quality spirit stones and lost another 20 top-quality spirit stones. These 40 top-quality spirit stones still made his heart ache. He wanted to get it back from the person in front of him. Qin Haodong asked, "What do you want?" Dong Zhenjiang said, "Let's bet 50 top-grade spirit stones." Do you dare? Qin Haodong was slightly stunned. He was short of top-grade spirit stones, but this guy raised the price to 50 at once. At this rate, he would get his first bucket of gold. Seeing his expression, Dong Zhenjiang thought that he was afraid and hurriedly said again, "Say something. Do you dare or not?" Qin Haodong put on a cowardly look and said, "But I don't have that much money with me." He really only had 20 top-grade spirit stones now, and he didn't know the rules here. If he bet in advance, he really didn't have that much money. Dong Zhenjiang said, "It doesn't matter. We can sign a bet on the challenge platform and pay after you lose." Looking at the freshman in front of him, Wang Dalai said with some sympathy, "Young man, we do have this rule on the challenge platform, and the school does not prohibit people from gambling. But the upper limit of the gambling money is 100 top-grade spirit stones, not too much. If you lose, you must pay the money to the other party within 1 day, or you will be expelled from the school." He originally wanted to persuade the new student to back off, but he didn't expect that Qin Haodong would be so excited after hearing this. He was sure to win this bet. No matter how much he bet, he would give money to him. Zhao Xingyue pulled the corner of his clothes and said anxiously, "Brother Qin, we can't bet." She knew very well that Qin Haodong didn't have 50 top-grade spirit stones. Once he lost, he would be expelled from the Black Tortoise Academy. "Don't worry about me. I can't stand it." Qin Haodong put on an angry look and said, 50 top-grade spirit stones is nothing. If you want to bet, let's make it bigger. Give me 100 top-grade spirit stones. Okay, let's do it. We'll sign the contract right away. Dong Zhenjiang swept away his depression just now. He was sure to win this bet. If the other party paid 100 top-grade spirit stones, it would be a small fortune. If he couldn't afford it and was expelled from the Black Tortoise Academy, then this beautiful girl would be his. Wang Dalai took the contract and asked again, "Student, have you really thought about it?" Once you sign the contract, you're not allowed to repent? Qin Haodong nodded and said, yes. Wang Dalai shook his head helplessly. It was really a romantic to die under a peony flower. But since Qin Haodong insisted, he couldn't say anything more. He made 3 copies of the contract, gave one to Qin Haodong and one to himself, and kept one for himself on the challenge platform. Dong Zhenjiang put away the contract with a smile, then took out 10 top-grade spirit stones and gave them to Wang Dalai. Then he jumped onto the challenge platform. But to his surprise, Qin Haodong, who was following closely behind him, was no longer dispirited and listless. He seemed to be in high spirits and did not look injured at all. He asked, "Boy, were you pretending just now?" "Nothing, I was just teasing you," Qin Haodong said with a smile. Since the contract had been signed, it was equivalent to getting 100 top-grade spirit stones, so there was no need for him to pretend anymore. On the spectator stand sat a little girl in a white school uniform. Her hair was tied up in 2 ponytails, and her round face looked chubby. She was both pretty and cute. What was strange was that there were many people gathered on the stand, but there was no one around her. Everyone had a tacit understanding to stay far away, leaving a small empty space. At this time, the little girl saw the situation on the platform and giggled. "This guy is really interesting. I haven't seen such a fun freshman for a long time." As she spoke, she ate the fruit in her hand. "Boy, even if you hide your strength, what's the use? You will be defeated by me in the end." Dong Zhenjiang said so, but his expression was extremely dignified. He reached out and took out a silver spear from the storage ring. On the challenge platform, you could use any of your best skills, and he was best at spear techniques. He shook the spear in his hand and shouted, "Qin, take out your weapon." Qin Haodong put his hands behind his back and said lightly, "I don't need it to deal with a nobody like you." "Who the hell is this freshman? He's really awesome. He dares to shout at Dong Zhenjiang like this. Wasn't this guy injured just now? Was it all an act? I don't think so. He may be pretending now, using some special method to suppress his injury." Qin Haodong ignored these people and shouted to Dong Zhenjiang, "Come on, don't waste time." Feeling the other party's contempt, Dong Zhenjiang was furious. The long spear in his hand shook. With the infusion of spiritual qi, the tip of the spear glowed with a dazzling red light. Almost in the blink of an eye, it was in front of Qin Haodong's throat. Looking at Qin Haodong's lightning-like strength, Zhao Xingyue shouted nervously under the stage. Wang Dalai also looked serious, observing the situation in the field with full attention. Once Qin Haodong was in danger, he would immediately rescue him. Only the little girl sitting in the stands was eating her fruit with relish, a very cute smile on her face. Under the gaze of countless people, Dong Zhenjiang's spear, which was as fast as a dragon, instantly arrived in front of Qin Haodong. Just when everyone was holding their breath nervously, the spear suddenly stopped. It could not move forward even half an inch away from Qin Haodong's throat, and there was a big white hand lying on the spear shaft. All the spectators were students of the Black Tortoise Academy. At this moment, they were so surprised that their mouths were wide open. To be able to hold Dong Zhenjiang's spear with his bare hands meant that he was at least in the middle stage of the divine transformation realm. It was obvious that this freshman was far from being as simple as he looked. "It's my turn," Qin Haodong shouted. With a sharp sound, his left fist suddenly smashed toward Dong Zhenjiang's face. Feeling the overwhelming fist intent, Dong Zhenjiang's pupils shrank. A look of horror flashed in his eyes. This person was much stronger than he had imagined. However, he was still a third-year student at the university and an expert in the early stage of the divine transformation realm. In the face of the fist that was constantly enlarging in front of him, he immediately gave up the spear in his hand and took 2 steps back. With a thought, another silver spear appeared in his hand. With the spear in hand, Dong Zhenjiang once again burst out with monstrous fighting intent. The spiritual qi in his body ran to the extreme. After a loud roar, the spear shook violently, creating dozens of afterimages. The red light in the sky drowned Qin Haodong. His opponent's spear power slightly surprised Qin Haodong, but that was all. He threw away the spear in his hand and punched with his right hand, directly hitting the spear that was stabbing toward him. Dong Zhenjiang was shocked. He had used the phantom spear technique that he was best at, but he did not expect it to have no effect on his opponent. Instead, it had directly found the body of the spear. Then, a cracking sound was heard. Qin Haodong's punch had forcibly broken the spear made of fine steel into 2 pieces. He then slightly leaned to the side and approached Dong Zhenjiang's arms. 8 Extremes Fist, Mountain Lean. Qin Haodong only used 1/10 of his strength, but it was something that Dong Zhenjiang could not resist at all. His body suddenly shot backward like an arrow leaving the bow, and he began to spit out mouthfuls of blood in midair. What he spat out was not ketchup, but real blood. He then fell to the ground with a thud. Everyone present was stunned, including Wang Dalai, who stood there in a daze. He even forgot to announce the result of the match. 1 move. Qin Haodong defeated Dong Zhenjiang, a third-year student, with only 1 move. His strength was amazing. After a while, the crowd immediately became restless. So powerful, where did this freshman come from? He's even more powerful than a third-year student. He's too strong, handsome, and capable. I feel like I'm going to fall in love. Come on, don't you see how beautiful the girl beside him is? How could she fall in love with you? At this moment, another person shouted, I recognize him. He's the newcomer king of the freshmen who reported in today. He has the cultivation of the late stage of soul formation. No wonder he could defeat Dong Zhenjiang. Hearing that person's shout, Dong Zhenjiang, who had just stood up, spat out another mouthful of blood. He's only at the late stage of soul formation and he's pretending to be like this. Isn't he playing with me? Chapter 867. Dong Zhenjiang was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. Originally, he thought that the other party was just a freshman with a low cultivation, so he wanted to step on him and show off his prestige as a senior student. At the same time, he could also pick up some beautiful female juniors. However, she didn't expect this guy to be so cunning. He was clearly a soul formation late-stage cultivator, but he acted like a little lamb. Now, not only had he lost all his face, but he had also lost more than 100 best quality spirit stones, which was his entire fortune. Qin Haodong didn't care so much. He said to Wang Dalai, Mr. Wang, do I win this battle? Wang Dalai nodded and said, of course you won. Qin Haodong jumped in front of Dong Zhenjiang and said, you lost the bet. Pay up now. Dong Zhenjiang wanted to go back on his word, but when he saw Wang Dalai beside him, he held himself back. No one could go against the school's rules unless they wanted to be expelled. In desperation, he took out 100 top-grade spirit stones from his storage ring and gave them to Qin Haodong. I was worried about not having enough money. Thank you. Qin Haodong grabbed the best-grade spirit stones. Together with the 20 he had obtained before, he now had 120 best-grade spirit stones, which was enough to buy the Star Moon Bodhi seed. The pitiful Dong Zhenjiang spat out another mouthful of blood. He pointed at Qin Haodong and shouted, boy, how dare you trick me? Wait and see. My brother will avenge me. If you have spirit stones, you can come find me anytime. Qin Haodong happily put the 120 top-grade spirit stones into the storage ring, and then left with Zhao Xingyue happily. Big brother Qin, you're amazing. You've gotten so much money so quickly. Zhao Xingyue said with a face full of admiration, her eyes full of little stars. Qin Haodong pinched her delicate little nose and said with a smile, I have to thank you. If you weren't so beautiful, those fools wouldn't have come to me. Brother Qin, you're not allowed to laugh at me. A hint of shyness flashed across Zhao Xingyue's face. She then said, I'm hungry. Let's go eat. Alright, we've earned so much money. Let's go celebrate. Great, I want to eat delicious food. Zhao Xingyue took Qin Haodong's arm and they went to the cafeteria of Xuanwu College together. It was time for dinner, and the cafeteria was crowded. Qin Haodong took a seat. Because he was not familiar with the food here, he waited here and asked Zhao Xingyue to buy food. Not long after, Zhao Xingyue, Qin Haodong, and Qin and Qin Haodong, Qin, and Xingyue, Qin, into. It was like boiling water. Zhao Xingyue didn't care about this. She picked up a piece of meat with her chopsticks and put it in her mouth. She nodded and said, "It's delicious. Brother Qin, try it. The dishes here are really delicious. They're almost as good as Wang, as good as the chef at home." She to say, time, she to Qin time, she said. Qin nervous, and seemed to say, and. Qin, but dong. Qin time. Up. As. Qin that the food taste, to say. To say. She up. Qin Haodong picked up his chopsticks and picked up a piece of meat that Zhao Xingyue ate and put it into his mouth, but he spat it into the trash can next to him after chewing it twice. Pa! What is this? It's hard and dry. Not only does it not taste good, it also has a fishy smell. There's no taste at all. How am I supposed to eat this dish? Looking at him, Zhao Xingyue asked in confusion, "What's wrong, Brother Qin? I think this dish is very delicious. You haven't eaten delicious food before. Come, let's go back. Big Brother Qin will cook something delicious for you." Qin Haodong had noticed that the food culture here could not be compared with that of Huaxia on Earth. However, this was not surprising. Even for the Chinese people, before the Song dynasty, they basically boiled dishes. It was only after the Song dynasty that various fancy cooking methods such as frying, stir-frying, stewing, and deep frying appeared. Moreover, in the whole world, no nation could compare to China in terms of food. It was the same in the cultivation world. He basically cooked his own meals. It was a pity that he only had cooking skills at that time, but he didn't have good ingredients. But now it was different. He had stored a lot of delicious food in the storage ring, and he had taken away the warehouse of the alien demons before coming here. It was no exaggeration to say that the food in the storage ring was enough for several people to eat for 100 years. Zhao Xingyue had eaten the food here since she was a child, so she didn't feel anything strange. However, seeing that Qin Haodong insisted, she obediently followed him back to the dormitory. At this time, the sun was setting. Only a touch of golden sunlight fell in the yard, but the heat had subsided a little. Qin Haodong took out a table and a few chairs and put them in the yard. Then he took out pots and pans and began to cook. Seeing that he took out a lot of things that she had never seen before, Zhao Xingyue asked curiously, "Brother Qin, what are you doing?" "You'll know later. I'm sure you'll want to eat again after this time." Because of the hot weather, Qin Haodong made a spicy pot. This dish was a combination of the spicy flavors of Sichuan and Chongqing. It was not only delicious, but also had a strong aroma, so it was called spicy pot. When he finished making a pot of spicy and fragrant mala saucepan, a rich aroma filled the air, drifting for 10 miles. "Brother Qin, what is this? Is it delicious?" Although the spiritual qi was rich in the Lingwu continent, there was no such thing as chili and pepper. Zhao Xingyue looked at the spicy pot in front of her with full of curiosity. Qin Haodong picked up a lotus slice with chopsticks and put it into his mouth. "It tastes good. Have a taste. It's much better than the garbage in the canteen." Zhao Xingyue had never eaten this thing before. She followed Qin Haodong's example and put a lotus slice in her mouth. At first, she was a little careful, but after chewing twice, her beautiful eyes suddenly widened, and the frequency of chewing also increased. It's delicious, it's really delicious. Since they met, Zhao Xingyue had maintained the image of a lady from a noble family. Her words and deeds, including eating, were gentle and reasonable, both elegant and dignified. But at this moment, her taste buds and brain had been completely occupied by the spicy pot. There was no other consciousness in her mind except for the delicious food. Ham, fish, tofu, potato slices, one delicious food after another were quickly sent into her red little mouth. Ah, delicious, it's really delicious. However, Zhao Xingyue, who had never eaten spicy food, soon suffered and kept fanning her burning mouth and tongue with her hands. What's this taste? It's so strange. Looking at Zhao Xingyue, who was so spicy, Qin Haodong said with a smile, "This is called spicy food. It's a very delicious taste. You'll get used to it later." Zhao Xingyue stuck out her tongue and said, "It's delicious, but it's really spicy." "It doesn't matter. You can take a sip of this," Qin Haodong said as he gave Zhao Xingyue a glass of beer chilled with ice genuine qi. It was midsummer at this time. In the hot evening, eating spicy pot and drinking a glass of cold beer were a perfect match. Zhao Xingyue took the beer and took a big gulp. She felt comfortable from head to toe. She couldn't help but cry, "It's so cool." "What's the taste?" "It's a little strange," Qin Haodong said, "This is called beer. If you're not used to it, I have other drinks here." Then he gave Zhao Xingyue an opened bottle of iced Sprite. Zhao Xingyue took another sip and couldn't help but praise, "This is good. I still like to drink this." Qin Haodong said with a smile, "Drink it if you like. I have a lot here." "Brother Qin, where did you get so many delicacies? I've never eaten such delicious food before." Qin Haodong said, "I don't know. They were all left to me by my master." He blamed all the unexplainable things on his master, who had never been there. At this time, Zhao Xingyue couldn't care less. She attacked the spicy pot again. At this time, more than a dozen people surrounded Qin Haodong's dormitory. They were the students of the Black Tortoise Academy who lived nearby. They were all attracted by the strong aroma of the spicy pot. These people smelled the aroma of the spicy pot and watched the two people in the yard eat happily. They couldn't help but swallow their saliva. The aroma was so delicious that they had never smelled such a strong aroma. Although they were all cultivators, they were far from the level of the divine realm, which was above the world. A fat man in purple clothes in front said, "Junior, what kind of food is this? Why is it so fragrant?" Qin Haodong put down his chopsticks, took a sip of cold beer, and said to these people, "This is called spicy pot." The fat man and those people couldn't stand it anymore. They opened the courtyard door and walked in. The fatty took a look at the spicy fragrant pot, which looked and smelled good, and swallowed his saliva. "Junior brother, junior sister, can you let us have a taste of this delicacy? We can pay." Qin Haodong's heart moved. Although he had 120 top-grade spirit stones, he was still a poor man in this academy. It seemed that these people were rich, so he could earn some spirit stones from them. Thinking of this, he said, "Well, I can sell some to you. 1 top-grade spirit stone for 1. 1 top-grade spirit stone for 1? Isn't it too expensive?" These people were all shocked. 1 top-grade spirit stone was enough for them to eat in the canteen for a week. Qin Haodong said, "It's not expensive at all. You can't buy the food here no matter how much money you spend." Then he picked up a piece of brightly colored ham and put it into his mouth, eating it happily. He was very confident about the spicy pot. No one in the whole Lingwu continent could make it. As the saying goes, rare goods can be hoarded. It was very cheap to sell it for 1 top-grade spirit stone. Smelling the rich aroma, the fat man couldn't help but take out a top-grade spirit stone and put it in front of Qin Haodong. "Brother, my name is Zhang Dapeng. I live next to you. Give me one first." "No problem." Qin Haodong took out a set of plates and put a spicy pot in front of him. Zhang Depeng took the chopsticks, put a potato chip in his mouth, chewed it a few times, and immediately showed an intoxicated look on his face. Bro, is it delicious? Say something quickly. Say it quickly. Does it smell good, but it doesn't taste good? Tell me quickly if it's delicious. I'm dying of anxiety. The people next to them all looked at Zhang Depeng eagerly. At this time, the fat man was not in the mood to care about them. He gobbled up the spicy pot in the blink of an eye. Ah. Delicious. Delicious. So spicy, so spicy. Zhang Depeng was satisfied, but he was also uncomfortable because of the spiciness. He looked at the golden beer in front of Qin Haodong and said, Junior, can you give me a glass of this? Qin Haodong said happily, no problem. 1 top-grade spirit stone for 1 glass. You're tuning into the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.